slow when it comes to the mid
compared
to late
to
game.
other mid laners. Orianna just needs a little bit time to rev up the clockwork. So the support from Chan will definitely be important. It's actually going to happen here, tapping or behind for Zerg if you look at the minimap. But Veer here comes for a gank for the top lane.
Yeah, Veer though, making his slow approach, flashing by Iconic. Repel is not available. He was in spider form.
Has to go for that. Does burn the flash on Acedia, but Iconic as well burns it. So there's 2 flashes for 1. I don't think it's very worth it for UPD, especially since the Cocoon Flash is a powerful tool for ganking for Veer, and now he's lost it trying to put down Acedia. This might be opportunity cost for UPD that they're willing to take, but it's a huge tool taken away from that Elise.
And we also see how Veer always, as almost majority of the game, he ganks the top lane first, then goes to the mid lane. There is a pattern that he sticks to, but right now Chan
just shows himself. A little bit of pressure, making sure Iconic cannot be too relaxed in that lane.
Knowing that the flash is down for Iconic. Chan made the right move just to apply pressure, but in the mid lane though, Bam! Heavy lockdown and Ignite being burnt onto him, so no kills yet so far, but the pressure that Veer is delivering, and sometimes he always gets the first blood.
Here, it seems like TUP a little bit more survivable. Kled is one of the more survivable top laners. Bomb on that Orianna as well. Can survive against these ganks. So that's still par for the course here for both of these teams. And really, the thing that both of these teams are playing it, like UPD is playing it very aggressively from the jungle side, while TUP is a little bit more laid back in the sense that they're not going for anything too crazy. And it's really paying off for them not being first blooded by Veer.
And also for TUPs, they did spot Veer on the Tribrush, so they know his pathing so far. Not going to be expecting any crazy ganks yet. The summoners are down. It's up to the laners to take how it'll turn out, but he takes huge punishments from that really long bind.
Yeah, the bind plus laying down the trap from Navi with a free headshot that's given by that. It's definitely great. Sean going for a gank here in the top lane.
No flash for Iconic. Let's see how he makes it out alive here. He's on red bar. Silence cannot skill it that much. Acedia is going to get Scarl back. He does get Scarl. And also the first blood of the game.
Oh boy. Acedia getting first blood. That is going to be scary for UPD. And it's great for TUP, seeing as most of their games really hinge around Acedia being far ahead.
And Iconic, after that huge mistake, giving a first blood to Acedia, responds to by picking up 2 cloth armors and a ruby crystal.
Wow, he's really going for the defensive route here. Probably going for the Ninja Tabi as an early item, plus building into more of these defensive AP items.
He could be going for the Zhonya's Hourglass if he chooses to, but a Ninja Tabi would be a more efficient pickup, knowing that Kled is really heavily focused on basic attacking, especially his violent tendencies.
And blocking out a lot of that damage by percentage is going to be huge. So Iconic has to TP back to lane. Both of these top laners actually do. We'll see how he recovers from that. He is 2 waves behind Acedia.
This is the start.
And he's going to get pushed in, definitely. Seeing how Acedia already has a Tiamat.
Oh,
man,
that's just bad news. Also for Chad, he did pick up also Tiamat from that assist. So he's pretty happy with that. So the clear coming from that Rek'Sai will be something you have to watch out for. And also the fact that Chan
I think they might meet each other here. Okay, they just pull off. There's no vision than that bot side. They don't want to risk running into Chan. It's going to be a reset here. Just a little bit of relaxed time. I think he has an idea.
Chan making its way in. Flash both burned by team. The root does connect onto me, forcing out his flash, but Ignite's been used by Misa N. Chan is very low, just backing away slowly.
Reflexes coming from Blizzard there. Surprisingly good. Immediately dodging out from the Unburrow. Still though, Neat very, very low. And that's both summer spells burned on the side of Blizzard.
That's
so
terrible.
Navi has an advantage.
Still,
they cannot get overconfident. They do have a huge summer spell advantage, but Neat still has Ignite, and he's on a Zyra. So if either Misa N or Navi get caught, it's going to be a nightmare of damage. Still though,
I think the nightmare will begin for Blizzard. Knowing that Navi is pushing him under the turret, and this is the start of those traps setting in.
Just preventing a lot of movement there in the bot lane. And Misa N, since the grasping roots coming from Neep are a bit slow, there's enough time for Misa N to respond with the Black Shield.
Oh, a mistake by Chan for showing himself too early. Gets stunned, but the shockwave will not hit anyone. Berserk gets a really easy kill from a basic mistake coming from Chan.
Gets caught out, tries to trade a little bit with Berserk, but he's dealing a lot of damage, even with just a Vamp Scepter. And that relentless pursuit to really get an escape from that shockwave, that was gangster.
You were talking about Illusion Pin, and you show yourself half health, expect that you're gonna die. And that is such a basic mistake you don't expect coming into the grand finals.
And that's another thing that that Orianna is weak to this Lucian hit, is because he can just dash out of the shockwave range very quickly.
And now he has a blue buff and
Oh man.
a first kill.
And he's ahead in terms of the CS as well. He has been building this up since level 1. So the disparity in the top lane is made up for in the disparity in the mid lane. But this is Acedia we're talking about. And he still has a Tiamat. He's still going to push Iconic in. Still very scary. And Veer has to pay attention to that. Because I think UPD's bot lane is very self-sufficient. While TUP, Chan, can leave Navi and Misian alone. Because that's also a very safe lane.
This is bad trouble for Bam, actually. I mean, Berserk gets his first kill, 1-0-0, and a CS lead of 84 to 69. This is actually going to be an avalanche for Bam. He's going to be falling off faster if he does not step up his game.
Acedia might get baited.
Veer has his flash though, but the will connect and he will follow it off. But Acedia is very low. The equalizer will slow him down. Trying to get stalled back will not help. And Veer goes for the tower dive, securing a kill and an assist for Iconic.
At least one of those better tower divers being able to rappel out. It resets the tower aggro. There it didn't reset because he was the only target, but that gives him a little bit more time to recover HP from the refillable potion, all of that stuff. Definitely a good way to pressure Acedia. Actually getting a kill onto Veer means that he will have a little bit more damage for these ganks.
And when he builds damage, when he ganks with that kind of burst, it will almost be 100%. So this will help UPG get back stronger and also scale up faster, especially Berserk on Illusion. When it comes to the late game, I think Berserk is on a ticking time, because when a clash-oriented team fight happens, he will not contribute that much compared to Bam with the Orianna and the Shockwave, and also for Chan with those burrows.
That's true. The mid game will really be the spike of UPD. As for TUP, they can afford to be a little bit more defensive. As long as they're not dying too much and forcing themselves in a super defensive position, they can survive. Here comes Chan.
Berserk does not have flash, but he does have the relance. So he is going all in. Berserk is very low, but he still managed to burn the summoners of Bam. But it'll be Chan to finish him off in the mid lane.
Looks like it's going to be a 2-for-1 across the map. Blizzard goes down. Navi gets the kill, actually, which is good for TUP. The end. TUP with a small gold lead. Charge actually gets burned down in the top lane. Misses Iconic.
Iconic gets caught by the bear trap, and here comes Chan for the respawn. Iconic does not have his flash, so he's pretty much a dead man if there is no help. That would be a kill for Acedia. 2-1-0. Closer step to the Black Cleaver.
2-1-0 indeed. And having that Tiamat definitely means he can shove this lane and slam it to the turret, so Iconic misses a lot of CS. And he definitely does not want to use teleport yet at this stage of the game. Usually the first teleport you use it to get back to lane, but this time, 11 minutes into the game, it might be more important to keep that teleport for a future fight in the bot lane.
I wonder though, if he does keep that teleport, he will be spending a lot of time walking and burning up CS under the first wave.
Yeah, and that's just going to extend Acedia's gold lead by a lot. The CS disparity is going to be great for TUP.
So now we're seeing Iconic really going for that Arm Seeker's Guard for the Zonia's Hourglass, really delaying the damage for the Rumble when you normally pick up the Hunting guys first. Then move on to the Leandro Stormman.
Yeah, the Seeker's Arm Guard definitely helps out. It gives you armor per CS. So it's really great to stack up against Acedia, and it's going to help him survive a lot longer. The thing with UPD is that both of their solo laners which are behind can still operate without gold. Baam more so. Because the knockup you get from Shockwave doesn't change if you have low gold. Of course the damage gets taken out, but still. As for Iconic, the overtime damage does get lowered, but the slow is still there for the equalizer even when he's behind. That's the caveat for the leads that both of these teams have in their solo lanes. That the opposing laner can still function decently without gold.
a low economy based champion is something really advantageous when you come into play to the late game. Because when you're very behind and you give all the kills to your teammate, still you still have this value coming to a team fight, and I think that's a very powerful tool that any team can use. But onto the objective side, UPD managed to secure the Cloud Drake. This will help their rotations even more, especially for Veer.
For macro-oriented teams, usually the Cloud Drake doesn't have a lot of control.
Oh, CT locked up for Navi. He does flash away. Lisa N will just be chugging on a potion. And Veer really dishing out the pressure around the map is something that you expect from his playstyle.
Yeah, the trade-off for this though is that Chan has a lot more time to CS on his own, clear his camps, as well as counter jungle Veer. We saw him putting down some vision in the top side jungle of Veer, as well as taking out
oh no, here comes the
dive.
Power dive and a flash burnt by Neat. He was tanking the turret. Lisa and also wasting his flash, leaving Blizzard for the kill for Chan. And now Veer is taking 2 hits and a response from the top lane. Now Cydia manages to pick him off. Bam burns his ghost but gets rooted by Neep. A very easy kill for the mid laner.
Very good juggling of the tower aggro from UPD, but in the end, because of the response from Acedia and Chan, it's like Blizzard has no chance of escaping from that. It's between a rock and a hard place there. So definitely 2 for 2, worth it. I think it's more worth it for UPD because they burned less resources. The TP is a huge resource.
And now they're pushing turrets.
Yeah, they pushed turrets because Baam did die from Berserk, as well as Neep doing a drive-by route on him. That does put him a little bit more ahead.
But Chad still committing towards Berserk.
He can finish off Berserk with the ultimate.
Oh, here it comes.
Can he be out of it?
Oh, he cannot dash out of it, but Acedia is going to be not there for the assist, but it would be Chad really doing all the work for you.
Let's break that down. Look at this really good juggling of tower aggro. Neep stands around the area and then flashes out of the tether of the Soul Shackles. And here UPD Blizzard just walks out like 2 or 3 units out of tower range, which lets Veer finish off the kill. But after that, this is inevitable. They die from the response of the TP coming from Acedia. And here Berserk just gets a good kill onto Bomb after a drive-by grasping blues.
Blizzard is left alone in the lane, but
that was absolutely dead.
Yeah.
Acedia was responding and Chan was closing in as well.
He saw that he was left alone in that replay where Neek just flashed out, but Blizzard was still there. But on the blue side of UPD,
really contesting this. This is 3v2. They have to give this up.
Give it up for the blue buff to TUP, while Iconic still has to catch up for itemization. He does have the Zonia's Hourglass for, let's see, 15 minutes into the game with a CS of 106. He is still not getting out of it.
Ooh, the chains of corruption from Blizzard missed completely. Out of range. So that's one big tool for Engage that UPD no longer has. The Stranglethorns is still there. The Grasping Roots are always going to be off cooldown for an important fight. But that's still a huge tool unavailable for UPD in the bot lane. Sean might go for something here in the mid though.
Berserk going in, but it will be a shockwave landing onto Veer, and now Chan is going to tank it all up. He is releasing so much damage. The execution from the Elite Spider form is too much.
I think it was a mistake to use a shockwave onto Veer there, because that means Berserk is still open to dash around and get his DPS out. I think if he saved the shockwave for a little bit longer, he would have gotten a kill or 2 from this mid lane. Acedia going for the charge.
Charging in, but Veer repels away, countering that charge, but it would be Veer eating up the bear trap on a row. Berserk does not have mana, but a teleport will scare TUP away.
Iconic, just in time to really scare them off and clear the wave. Actually, they are going for the first turret of the game with this play.
Decisive decision.
Even Neep is around here just to help them out.
The first turret.
It's very risky though.
Very low.
Acedia low.
And ZZ's locked down and now forced out of his Scarl and out of over the wall.
Being isolated from the rest of his team, definitely hurting TUP, but now with Navi around, this leaves Blizzard a lot of alone time there for the bot lane. Will they race for the turrets? This mid lane turret is still very healthy for UPD. They just have to shove the wave in and then respond back. Blizzard seems to take a hint and is going to back off just in time so they don't get two-manned by Mise-en and Navi.
This is the result of TUP rushing their itemization towards more offensive side, where the clashers, the engagers like Acidia and Jan, they're not durable enough to stay long in the team fight. So they have this awkward phase where they have to leave the carries, the very squishy targets alone, and that's how UPD thrives in, where we see an Elise, a Rumble, and a Lucian who can bypass all of those.
Yeah, they're really playing to their win conditions, their priorities as well, the objectives. That play, it's like as soon as they saw Acedia separated from the rest of his team, they immediately went on him and chunked him down. But of course, since Navi was coming to the mid lane, that left TOP with enough time to recuperate from that and still not give up the first turret of the game, which is great for them. Keeps the gold still very even with TOP in a very small 1,300 lead.
And that's what happens when you're not durable enough, especially when you charge
true.
in. And that's really bad for TUP. When they engage, they can't survive. UPD will chase them down. They can't run away that effectively. There's a Zyra, there is a Lucian, so that's going to be bad news. But the turret in the mid lane is very low.
UPD is just waiting for an opportunity to get a few pot shots at that turret and then take it out. Clouddrake will spawn. As I said, not a huge priority, but when it comes to these high-level teams, the 15 move speed you get from each stack of Clouddrake could actually be huge.
Here comes Acidia. Whoa, I think that was a charge not needed, but here's a flash from Neep. Blocking down Navi will be Blizzard, grabbing the kill.
As soon as Mise-en leaves Navi alone, Neep and Blizzard gang up on Navi.
So that's one member down and one ultimate gone for TUP.
That's the damage you get from the support Zyra. Because even combine it with the stacks, the blight stacks from Blizzard that get popped by any of these spells, it's a huge burst of damage. And Navi,
flashing from Mise-en for that ultimate. Chan will try to take him down, but it will be the support getting the kill instead, while leaving Neep to back away. But in the mid lane, UPD managed to get the first turret of the game. Maybe going for another one here, missing his cocoon. There is the weave here for UPD, whereas TUP has to wait and take their revenge slowly.
They do have a few more tools. Mise-en looking for something here in the bot side. I think he's expecting UPD to go for the turret.
Oh, missing Dark Bind.
There's no one here to follow up if ever he does get the Dark Binding. Another Clouddrake.
That's a second Clouddrake for UPD. More movement speed out of combat will really benefit the playstyle of these two teams who have really superior macro play.
Yeah, the rotations are everything. And UPD, because they got two stacks of the Clouddrake, I know a lot of people put down Clouddrake, poor Drake, that's racist, and how people call it the Clown Drake. Because it's true, the movement speed doesn't have a lot of impact compared to what, 10% bonus 2 damage against objectives, 8% bonus AD and AP, and even the regeneration. The 15 move speed is definitely small, but when you stack it up like that, 30 move speed outside of combat is actually pretty big. It's like equivalent to the bonus of Moby Boots. So that's how big it is once you get two stacks. But one stack, it's not too much. But here, it can actually make an impact to when Veer rotates.
And you can see that he's still rotating towards the bottom lane. Once he plays, he gets through it down. Chan goes in for the knockout. Neep is very low. He gets taken out by Chan. But here comes Blizzard for the free hit and Veer for the cocoon inside the territory. UPD Blizzard will be securing the kill. Navi gets a headshot with the trap, but it will be no kill for him.
2 for 1. Veer. Okay, that almost missing the block there, but I don't think it would have killed. Still though, 2 for 1 with a great gank coming from Chan. But even though it was pretty much a 2v3 in the end, yeah, even though it was a 2v3, almost at the start, the damage that Neep can pull out even when he's dying allows Veer to get the finisher, allows Blizzard to get one final kill onto Chan as well, and Navi cannot get any more free hits here.
And I think Chan made a technical mistake there, blurring back inside where he was supposed to tunnel out, but
I think though, even if he tunneled out, Blizzard actually gets a kill onto Navi.
And Acidia from the backline teleports in, does not spot Blizzard yet. Here comes Neep. Let's see, plans placed down. Acidia
He can no longer chase. After the charge, he no longer has any chase potential when Blizzard is already that far.
And also they have out-of-combat movement speed, makes it harder even more for Acidia.
And this leaves the top lane open for UPD to get another turret. The gold lead is still relatively small at 22 minutes. When 2K, That's still very small. When you divide it amongst 5 members, it's not that big at this point of the game. Still though, more map control for UPD.
More objectives control too.
Yeah, having that, top lane and mid lane shut down, plus the bot lane being so low, it leaves him open to do a lot more rotation. It makes TUP's jungle a little bit scarier, but still, they need vision to actually take advantage of that. And because if they leave themselves open to Chan and Acedia, that's a dead UPD. But they have to respect the damage that could come from UPD. We've seen that even with TUP getting the initiative in the gank there in the bot lane, Neep's damage just phenomenal.
Yeah,
being able to just destroy anyone that gets in the way.
This is what I was talking about, man. I mean, you may start the clash, but when you're not durable enough and the tank that hits to the team, it's going to leave, let's say, Navi and also Bam a very hard position where they can't even kite or even get out of team fights. These are low mobility champions, whereas Acedia and Chan, they're high mobility. They can go in and out as they please, but the fact that they're actually baiting their own teammates into a team fight is something bad for TUP.
Definitely, because UPD just wants to rush them down with damage. And the thing with TUP's compositions, yes, Acedia can still rush out of the fight, Chan as well. But the fact that once they charge in, they have to go through the Neep's damage, as well as the rest of UPD. They are in a tough spot at this point of the game. But when it comes to late game, they might have a more solid front line, which is like the selling point for this
Oh,
composition.
Neep face checks, sees Chan, and he is very low, gets rooted down. Miss it and manages to land the Dark Bite, but there will be no follow-up. And there is the Equalizer to torch the members of TUP, punishing them for even trying to get a cheese onto Green.
Yeah, he's definitely very scary face checking there, but survives with a flash and actually roots Chan away from him.
UPD playing the macro game, just taking down turrets. They don't even need to start a team fight if they please. I mean, they can just take down the turrets as they please. They have to wave clear, and the power from Berserk on the calling is just enough.
And look at the gold lead on the mid lane. The 280 carries for this team above its counterparts is definitely huge. The biggest caveat here is that Blizzard is way ahead of Navi, which means that even with the safety that Caitlyn provides, it won't be dealing enough damage compared to Blizzard to be relevant at this point of the game. Because Navi, if he gets the chance to ramp up and get a few revenge kills and be able to freely farm a little bit more, it's going to be a scary, scary Caitlyn. But at this point of the game, as I said, mid-game is the powerful spike of UPD, and they're taking advantage of it fully. But they have a soft time, a very soft time.
When it comes to the late game, it would be Baab stepping up, same as Acedia and Chan, and also Navi. But for Blizzard as a Varus, can he contribute that much when it comes to the late game? He has the Runas and the Turning Arrow, but
The important thing is the
damage.
Chains of Corruption. The Chains of Corruption combined with the rest of UPD kits can make for a very powerful counter.
Oh, here it comes!
Oh, man.
Iconic trying to buy some time, but still gets taken down
But
by
damn it.
Bam! Here it is! Fear is really taking a lot of food, but Blizzard manages to get him off guard. Chan! Don't know why he was there, but he's sightseeing.
Yeah, 1-for-1 though, actually in favor of UPD because they have a huge top lane wave pushing. So this is a natural transition from a mid lane fight, which is a 1-for-1, but because the top lane turret was more vulnerable for the TUP, it's more worth it for UPD. And now they have a little bit of vision control here in the top side.
No, Chan to back away from that. Bam is actually delivering the damage so far when you're entering the 26-minute
See how
mark.
much damage he did against Berserk
Yeah,
there.
it's almost an instant.
He's catching up. He's catching up.
So this is a good thing for TUP. They're
Mm.
catching up in damage, in itemization, whereas UPD, they are already at their peak.
This
The
Infernal
mid-game.
Drake could make things
Oh
a little bit
boy.
harder, turn up the heat of this battle.
Extending the time that UPD has to work with, this
Yeah.
is going to be
The
big.
thing is, the time limit that we talked about is a very soft time. It means TUP can actually fight on equal footing with UPD, but it's still not going to mean that TUP will absolutely wreck them
Oh,
once
no,
late
no,
game
no.
comes. Because UPD has tons of damage, and the fact that they don't have a solid, very solid frontliner isn't really super relevant if they can just rush you down and kill you before that happens.
Yes, the soft time limit is just how UPD has this good lead And this is something that's showing right now with the portrait scores. Wow. But here, like the stun and the equalizer percent, and the shockwave will knock them
Shockwave.
down. Denying the engage, but Blizzard's free hitting. He can do what he pleases. Asidia is very low. If he gets dismounted, it will be big trouble. But Neat gets Navi off guard with the
Whoa.
triple for a flash in. Piercing arrow makes that a quadra.
Quadra kill and the Dawnbringer emote for both of the solo laners, or rather for the AD carry and the top lane here. Actually, they get the mid lane turret, extending their gold lead to 6,000 gold.
Berserk was left to free hit as he please. Stacking up those blights is really rewarding.
Now let's break that down. I really like how earlier the Fear goes for the cocoon after the Proto Belt. Proto Belt is such a good item on Elise because it gives her an extra boost in movement where she can position for a cocoon, and that's what started the rest of this fight. The rest of the fight is sort of self-explanatory. They go for a lot of damage, but because Blizzard and Berserk were free hitting, they got the fight out. And Neep got a really good root as well at the backside of that fight, which allowed for an extra kill for UPD.
That's the advantage of having a rune that's Hurricane.
Yeah,
We've
just
seen
being able to AoE.
Yeah, we see that Navi, he just picked up the static shift, not get the runes. In terms of damage output, UPD will always win unless Navi
Fear gets knocked away with a blast kill.
unless Navi picks up the runes Hurricane too, but he just picked up the static
Yeah, because
shift.
the thing is, Runon's Hurricane is no longer a go-to item for Caitlyn. Because she no longer stacks headshots with Runon, so the static shift is now her go-to AoE item.
That's a lot of damage removed from her.
Yeah, that's a huge nerf. And because Blizzard has the Runon, he can also stack the Blight stacks much faster in team fights. And now look at Iconic.
Iconic paying back the price. Oh, but we got Cydia getting Scarl back, baiting out Iconic's revenge. He is still not yet close, but now in the Baron Pit, it starts right now. The first Baron of the game goes to UPD, and the fight breaks out in Baron Pit. Veer is just blocking down chat, and a TP is being burned? I don't think so. I don't see any TPs yet.
Acedia had TP that fight, which should have been deadly for UPD, but it seems like
it was very low.
Yeah, very low. Had to recover a lot of health. Seems like TOP did not pull the trigger there. And now UPD has a huge sieging tool.
They have the Baron. This makes the TOP even harder for them to push. Especially the changes to Runon's Hurricane. So this Caitlyn now is more of a single target oriented duelist in a sense. Also pushing power. He does have the pushing power.
The static shift still clears waves very well. So that she's still able to do that.
It's the AoE damage you're looking for.
Yeah, and static does have a little bit of that AoE burst, but the Runons, losing the Runons and being forced into the static itemization is so bad for these Caitlyn players. It is a reasonable nerf. It was a reasonable nerf. Because stacking headshots when you're doing like machine gun play, I don't think that's sensible.
So leave it to Blizzard to pick up the Ruined Hurricane, and I think we're going to Blade of the Ruined King. So that's why so much damage.
Because light stacks do deal a lot of magic damage as well, so it's still hard for TOP to itemize defensively against this.
Where is the defensive itemization though coming from TOP? I
Most is GA and the Deadman's Plate, but that's still semi-offensive.
Semi-offensive, more of a off-track leisure. Not something you would see maybe an Omen or a Frozen Heart to remove those attack speeds.
The thing is though, that UPD is still at their peak of power in terms of composition. Now they are 8,000 gold ahead of TOP. And this just extends the time where they can constantly go in even more.
And the next trick will be Inferno. If they get a second stack on that, TOP's chances of winning this game is getting smaller.
The thing is though, UPD, as I said earlier, just from the drafting phase, they have an explosive composition, but it can also blow up in their faces. If Acedia gets a good flanking charge that can immediately go on to Berserk or especially Blizzard, the chances of actually taking them out are much better. And if Chan can also get himself in a position where he can really hit the carries of UPD and then finish them off with a Void Rush, that could be very good for TOP. But at this point of the game, it's still very difficult because of how the game played out. The itemization, now they're behind. And it's manifesting in UPD being so confident going for these wave clears coming into the mid game push.
They can. I mean, look at the KD of Blizzard, 11-3-3 with a gold lead of, let's say,
5,000.
14,000
Wow.
compared to closing up to 10,000. That's almost one crucial item for a Canadian that needs to match that damage.
Yeah, that's like
One
a
key
4,500 gold lead. That's one. You can build any ABC.
Oh,
Neat. Wow.
Make a risky play of flashing it does work out. Acidia is now going to be the
two-man shockwave.
Two-man shockwave though gets stacked by Bam, but Berserk is still making its way in. Navi flashes out. Bam is very low, can't fight back, and there is the mob proc. He does not take any damage from that.
Yeah, completely nullified by the shield. 3 for 2. That decisiveness from Neep. As soon as he saw an opportunity, he went in even when he was at like 10% HP. Goes for it, and it pays off.
This is bad news for TUP. They can't even defend it, and Bam can't even fight back. It's a mid-Lucian where Oriana really gets a nightmare. And also for Navi, low mobility champions getting punished by slows is the result. And now they lose that inhibitor.
Wow, that's going to be huge pressure for the bot lane. And just in time for the Infernal Drake to spawn. Let's break that down. Neat immediately flashes over to lock down someone, which is enough for the equalizer to go through. It's like he didn't know who was going to root. He just flashed in straight up, and whoever it was, UPD will go in. And the fact that Sean went for the Void Rush onto Neep means that they no longer have a front line.
Also, we did see that TUP just walked the equalizer, taking so much damage. They should have just backed
setup
away.
though, because Neep went in, rooted anyone, and then that was a signal for the equalizer. And TUP still walked into it, which played into UPD's plans. The fact that Chan Void Rush to try to finish off Neep, however, losing one crucial frontliner for TUP when the other one is also a high damage frontliner like Acedia, you can't do that. It's not worth it to Void Rush onto Neep. Like, you're so angry that he rooted you. That's a huge decision, mistake.
With two Infernal Drakes, UPD's damage is just getting stronger and stronger for TUP's side. For TUP.
Yeah, they're just closing in here on this top lane turret. They have very good rotations from the Cloud Drake. They have 2 stacks of the Infernal Drake. So this gold value at this point, let's say that the gold value for 2 Infernal Drake is 3,000 gold. Here it
Acedia
comes.
charges in onto Berserk. He's very low, taking a lot of damage. Acedia managed to pick up a kill, and now it will be onto Veer. He gets the Zonias though, but it'll be Navi getting some headshots, and Iconic is just torching that Bam, and now Oriana's taking it out, but Navi will take the upper hand. Meet shield, scrap shield, let's see how it turns out.
That's what I'm talking about.
4-3, 4-2 actually, with Chan just close to death.
4 for 2 in favor of TUP. That's what I'm talking about. If Acedia catches them in a good charge and then Bomb follows it up with a spectacular shockwave, what happens is UPD's composition blows up in their face. Neep might go for a kill here, or might just go for
he can. If he starts that kill, Neep will be taken down, but Navi
will not face check that. Saves Neep's life.
instead just goes for the
Would have been an
turret.
ace if he died, which would have opened up actually for a Baron. Because that would mean Neep's death timer does not coincide with the rest of his teammates. So going for the less risky play, let's break that down. As I said, it's not an exact flank, but the way that UPD's position blows up in their faces. Because Acedia is able to freely go to the carries, and Blizzard also gets caught in the shockwave. So that's just complete ace, almost ace for TUP there. And Iconic tries to go a little bit more damage, but because Acedia and Chan are already in the back line, the fact that he's torching the members of TUP, the backline of TUP, doesn't really matter much. UPD recovering immediately, though, going for this play.
Oh, a steal does not succeed for TUP, but a teleport will be coming into play. There is a shockwave onto Blizzard, but the equalizer deals so much damage. Berserk takes Bam down, but it'll be a Acedia returning the kills onto Blizzard. But Berserk is not being focused at all, with Fear going in the back line, finishing up the members of TUP. Lisa Ann cannot escape from this. It would be a 4-1 trade for UPD. TUP should not have made that mistake. Why go in when you see that Chad is in the jungle side? And this will probably cost them the game.
Yeah, 40-second death timers, only Chan to defend. That's not enough wave clear, even with Titanic Hydra and Queen's Wrath probably going to be UPD pulling off the first win of this best of 5 series. I think Acedia should not have teleported. I think he
That
should have
is
used
a
charge.
huge mistake.
I think they should have given up the Baron and then went for a play, the same play they went in the top lane, flanked them with a charge, follow it up with a great shockwave, with Sean being a great damage in the front line, but because they went for the Baron instead of the win, they lose the game off of that.
They lose the first game of the best of 5 series in the grand finals of
It's
the
still a best of 5
LCL.
series, so they can get up from this. As we know, the semifinal series for TUP was 3-2 in their favor. They had to fight long and hard for that, and this proves that they have endurance. Well, UPD, they had a shorter series, 4 games, still 4/5 of the games that TUP had, but this is still going to be a test of both of these teams' endurance.
I wonder how it's going to be turning out, but because TUP, that Baron clutch was just reckless.
Yeah, I think they tunnel vision onto the Baron buff. Instead of playing around the Baron, they played around the Baron buff. And I think that's a huge mistake there.
They had a Caitlyn.
They were on red side. They were on red side. So they could have had a very easy flank with a charge. Just teleport, not in the Baron pit, but like in a ward near the Baron pit. Let the charge wrap up its shield and damage. And once UPD, because they left themselves open to
Yeah.
UPD, but if they had just aggressively charged in, not for the buff, but for UPD's members, I think they could have gotten that.
I think it was Baam not really performing that well in
Let's
this
look at
game.
let's look at KDAs here. A lot of kills onto Blizzard, really stepping up.
That's the richest. Here's the richest.
Yeah, and the damage from the rest of these members, look at the damage here. Neat doing much more than any of the members of TUP.
This is trouble because those heavy bats at the mid lane is really punishing TUP
Yeah.
so far.
I think they expected Baam to go for the Orianna because he plays it a lot, and because the rest of the popular mid laners are banned out, let's go for the very safe Orianna. But very safe means nothing to mid Lucian when you pick an Orianna.
goes all in.
I don't think the mid Lucian will be going through the banning phase anytime soon.
Let's see though.
But we'll see, because there's a lot of bans that they need to work around.
So guys, there you have it. That was game 1 of the best of 5 series in the grand finals of the Lenovo LCL 2017 Spring Term Challenge. What you know, we have been the Shoutcasters. I am Vulcan, and joining with me is Atlas. Don't go away just yet. We'll be back after a short game, moving on to game 2.
Forcing themselves in a super defensive position, they can't survive. Con.
Berserk does not have flash, but he does have the reliance for
Wow.
He is going all in. Berserk is very low, but he still managed to burn the summoners of Bab. But it'll be Chan to finish him off in the mid lane. Chan goes in for the knockoff. Lead is very low. He gets taken out by Chan. But here comes Blizzard for the free hit, and here for the Cocoon inside the territory. UPD Blizzard will be securing the kill. Navi gets a headshot with the trap, but it will be no
right
kill.
now.
More turret scores.
Wow.
But here, that's the stun. It is equalizing percent, and the shockwave will knock them
Shockwave.
down. Denying the engage, but Blizzard's free here. He can do what he's previous. Asinia is very low. If he gets dismounted, it will be big trouble. But he gets 90 off guard with the bind
Whoa.
triple for a flash in. Oh,
wow.
They can reach the play of flashing in. Does work out. Asinia is now going to be a big
two-man shockwave.
Two-man shockwave though gets stacked by Bam, but Berserk is still making its way in. Navi flashes out. Bam is very low. Can't find the balance. Charges in. On to Berserk. He's very low. Taking a lot of damage. The team managed to pick up a kill. And now it will be on to Beer. He gets the Zonias though. But it'll be Navi getting some headshots in. Iconic is just torching that Bam. And now Orianna's taking it out. But Navi will take the upper hand. Big shield. Trap shield. Oh, a steal does not succeed for TUP. But the teleport will be coming into play. There is a shot onto Blizzard. But the equalizer deals so much damage. Berserk takes Bam down. But it'll be a Sigurd returning the kills onto Blizzard. But Berserk is not being focused at all with Fear going in backline, finishing up the members of TUP. Misa and cannot succeed from this. It would be a 4-1 trade for UPD. TUP should not have been
Charge.
a huge mistake.
I think they should have given up the Baron and then went for a play, the same play they went in the top lane, flanked them with a charge, follow it up with a great shockwave, with Sean being a great damage in the front line, but because they went for the Baron instead of the win, they lose the game off of that.
Not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Lenovo LOL Collegiate League 2017 Spring Term Challenge. What you know, we'll be your shoutcasters for the second day of the second game of the finals. Rather, I'm Atlas. With me is Arctic. Of course, coming back from that very intense first game. Like at first, it was very back and forth, very even.
Yeah.
But after a while, UPD just got the objectives that he needed, and they just took away the game.
I mean, it's crazy. This is UPD showing all the strengths that they've had, and it's just very classic at this point. If anything, TUP definitely needs to step up their game. In fact, for me personally, having gone through the finals just last split with TIP versus Olfu, I'm having flashbacks right now. And like as we've kind of been discussing earlier, it's somewhat almost the same scenario. It's almost like an Olfu versus TIP for me. It's just that the difference is UPD is kind of like the Olfu, wherein they have all the strengths that Olfu kind of lacked in the previous split. UPD has, and so much more. TUP on the other hand, reminiscent of TIP for me. It's just that, like, when you think TIP, you think of Cute, you think of Janine. When you think of TUP, you think only Asidia. So they kind of lack that extra power to dominate in terms of win lane, win game. That win lane, win game thing.
Because even though Asidia was winning lane against Iconic in the end, it was still Iconic pulling out a lot of impact with the equalizers. And even though Asidia got really good flanks with a charge, which actually won them a 2-for-4 in the top lane, it was not enough for them to carry through. And what you said about UP having what Olfu lacked, like the macro play, the drafting, as well as the individual mechanics of most of their players. It seems like UPD is coming just very, very strong. But we have seen that TUP can extend to a Game 5 and have a very powerful comeback. But against UPD, it's really going to push them to their limits.
Exactly. And as we did see in that game one earlier, it was all about the objectives for UPD. Even though the kills were fairly equal, at the end of the day, macro really pushed her for UPD.
Yeah. At first, the kills were definitely equal. But because UPD kept getting these objectives, the Cloud Drake, which allowed them to rotate faster, the Infernal Drake, which made them kill faster, that just made the gold leads coming from the towers. They had these turrets. Every time they got a turret, that was a 1k gold lead to them. And all those built up with the bonuses of the Drakes to just completely dominate every single 5v5 after that. Because it seemed like UPD would be better off with pickoffs, but because they were so ahead, they would just go for these 5v5s, just even with the neat flash, flashing in for the immediate route onto Sean, and then almost finishing off the game from that.
And I gotta say, because of that dragon control, this is one of the things that is kind of out of Asidia's hands, because during the early phases of the game, he's way up top, and it's definitely up to Misen and his counterpart to just really work their own magic in the bot lane. And considering the struggle that I've kind of seen earlier, hopefully we see those type of corrections going into game 2, because otherwise, if not, then TUP's going to continue to have a harder and harder time. And we have seen UPD thrive in these longer best of 5s, so I'm kind of worried.
Really, well, worrying trend for TUP if it continues, but we're all going to see how they recover, how they come back from that in the drafting phase of the second game. This is going to be more opportunities for them to get back into this. Let's start off with the pick and bans, the first 3 bans we have for this.
Oh yeah, at least gonna be banned out. I mean, Veer, I gotta hand it to Veer. I mean, during the previous splits, I really didn't look at Veer as much, because when I think UPD, I think of superstars like Neep, Berserk, but I gotta hand it to Veer. Going into the split, he's been an absolute joy to watch. He's not only stepped up his game, but I feel like mechanically, he's become so much more stronger.
Yeah,
and
I think the champion pool very in line with the meta, with a few outliers that really push him to be a little bit more unpredictable, but also the pathing as well, the mechanics, the pathing, the pressure. And I think he's also very willing to learn more about the jungle, which is why at this point of the game, at this point of the series, he's becoming scarier and scarier against TUP. And it's coming to the ban. Still a lot of respect for the Rakan from, as well as the top lane Fiora from Iconic, but at least he'll not be going through. As for UPD, sticking to most of their guns here, the Lulu and Vladimir still banned out. They are willing to let the LeBlanc push through while banning out the Zac on their side, because it will be a first pick priority if it goes through.
So there we go. Going into the picks, of course, Ari going to be picked out for Bomb right there. So Bomb, I believe he does have some history on this Ari, too much success in a way.
That's true.
But one thing that not as surprised to see, of course, Blizzard gonna be sticking to what he knows, gonna be with the
Going
Caitlyn.
back to the Caitlyn. Yeah,
Comfort.
it's very safe.
Yeah.
There's no reason to like talk crap about it being first pick. This is
Yeah.
a very safe AD carry, and it's a very understandable first pick. Veer, one of his signatures, Lee Sin, will be picked here. On the side of TUP, like as soon as Ari does not get banned, they pick it up, and because he's very, very proficient in that. This means UPT can no longer pick the mid Lucian. So it's going to be the Blitzcrank Jinx bot lane for TUP.
Wow.
Very explosive as well.
And I gotta hand it to Misa N here because I've actually been commenting earlier while Game 1 was going on, wherein Misa N, he kind of struggles on certain champions, but for some reason when it comes to these heavy skill shot champions, he actually works magic. Like the Morgana earlier, Dark Binding during previous games, a lot of connect rates, even though technically they do struggle a lot in lane, but those Dark Bindings, you know, definitely something you could rely on. So these hooks, I'm actually interested in seeing how this will transition. But of course, we will be seeing a Malzahar locked in for UPD.
This could be the mid lane. Like mid lane Malzahar is now actually a thing now that he's transitioned from the bot lane. Still very possible to go to that support role, but because of the changes, I think it does push him more to be a mid lane mage. As for the bans here, banning the Kled against Iconic, blocking against themselves as well. The Syndra from Berserk. As for UPD, now they're focusing on Sean. The Zac, Kha'Zix, and Olaf ban definitely push a few of Chan's champions away. He might still go for the Rex side. It is left open, but against the Lee Sin, it might be difficult to pull off.
There we go. Yeah, the Thresh going to be locked in for UPD, of course. What's interesting here is that if PGS has Rox as who I dub as the best Thresh I've been seeing thus far, Neep, not only is he the best support for me in the LCL, but he's also the best Thresh player for me. And again, kind of like Misi N, lands the skill shots to the T on this Thresh.
Because the thing is, with Thresh, Blizzard, and Neep, they actually very synergize very well. Blizzard being very, very obedient. And because Neep, as we know, is like one of the best shot callers. I think the best shot caller in the LCL.
Definitely.
And I think he's actually PGS material in terms of the shot calling. But the Thresh as well, it's not just the mechanics of the hooking and the flaying, but it's also communication with the AD carry. And I think that's one of the paramount ways, and that's one of the ways Neep actually pulls through as the best Thresh player in the LCL. As for TOP, yeah, BCN, I've seen his performance on the Morgana, on the Blitzcrank, very proficient on that those champions. And if Navi can follow up properly on every single one of those hit skill shots, TUP will have a very powerful bot lane. If Chan can actually exploit Missy N's proficiency and these aggressive CC locking champions as well, they have a very good chance of snowballing the bot lane. Acedia picking up the Gangplank. We were talking so much about the bot lane that we did not notice. Acedia picking up the Gangplank.
I know you're pretty happy about this.
Yeah, but the worry is it's up against Iconic's Jace, so it's going to be very difficult. But of course, if Acedia gets gold and ramps it up, the bank plank. If the bank plank happens, the crit plank will also happen. And that means UPD will be hard pressed to survive the damage, considering that if Chan locks down something, that's a lot of free barrels. But of course, we'll be seeing how all that plays out, because this is a very interesting graph from both of these teams. We'll be seeing how all that actually plays out once we load on into the Rift.
I guess I've felt threatened by every single game. You never know. No matter how great there is a difference between rank and how well your team performs and whatnot, there's always that small chance that you don't perform up to par. Especially, I guess, with my inconsistency, I get more and more afraid the further that we go into LCL, because then there's always the chance that we lose, and it's always getting bigger as long as we don't
of the
practice.
semi-final match between JBL, Maroon Dragons, and UPD of Legion Esports going to JBL.
Clean slate goes to JBL for game 1. Congratulations, JBL.
Failure, as we all know, comes growth, and in this growth, we learn to work on our weaknesses and further augment on our strengths. And this is a big reason why we think that we're capable of taking it a step further this year.
really. That was the UPD video for all of you for the second game of this finals between UPD Oblation Esports and TUP Sick Parvis Magna. We'll see how our teams play out their level ones, and that, at the end, was the meaning of Oblation, just offering yourselves to something greater. And this is the reason why UPD is really pulling it off here in the finals against TUP. We'll see how TUP defends against that conviction in the second game.
Yeah, and I definitely felt that coming from UPD right there. Especially considering that we do know that some of the members of UPD are actually transitioning into graduation.
Yeah.
So it's make it or break it for them. They really want to make the most out of the, if anything, probably the best roster that UPD has out of all the splits.
That's true, and iconic as well. Pulling a lot respect man on the Fiora in one of his first splits as the starting top laner for UPD. That's also a lot of growth for all of these players, but we can't also deny that TUP has also pulled a lot of really great tricks as well in their games. Like, as I said, Missy Ann, as we discussed, Missy Ann so on point with these champions like Blitzcrank and Morgana, where one skill shot, isang skill shot ka lang, and then Navi will finish you off.
Exactly, and it definitely goes to show that TUP can go up to par with UPD in terms of the micro, in terms of the laning phases, the trade-offs. But of course, the big question here, transitioning especially into the mid and later parts of the game, is whether or not they could keep up in terms of the macro play.
Yeah, because that's what I always say, and how a lot of LCL teams falter is in the macro game. Because I think macro is more important than the micro. If you cannot rotate well, if you cannot coordinate to get these objectives, you will not get to the Nexus. No matter how good at 1v5 Gangplank Z outplays you are at, if you cannot transition those two objectives with your team, you will not go anywhere.
And that being said, if you're going to look at majority of the teams coming into the LCL, because you only have so much time to work on it, but
wow, actually going for the hook here fails because Berserk immediately flashing it out. So that does reveal the position of the jungler of TUP, and Missy Ann loses a lot of experience in that.
Oh man, but as a result though...
Are they going for it again?
I don't know. Actually, I was thinking that it would have been a smart choice if they went to check for the blue, but it looks like they'll still be hanging around.
No flash on Berserk this time. This is... Ooh, they actually do get it. The knockup as well. Lots of damage onto BCN, but Berserk immediately goes down with the Ignite.
Wow, I mean, it definitely paid off for TUP right there. And at the same time, sure, we could say that there was a little bit of time exerted to get that gank on, but I would say it still paid off in a sense as well.
It really paid off there.
Because they got that kill, and at the same time, I think that Navi also benefits in the sense that he gets all the solo experience while the Blitzcrank was absent from lane.
Being able to build up a little experience lead over Blizzard means that he also extends the range of his rocket launcher. Here comes Fear, trying to go for a gank against Acedia. Misses the crucial Sonic Wave. Acedia lives to see another day. Good munch up a little bit on those oranges to recover his health. Surviving pretty well against Iconic despite the range melee matchup. The thing is the thing about the mid lane fight earlier, or rather the mid lane slaughter earlier, murder, was that Bomb kept the Ignite. It was Missy Ann's Ignite that was burned. So Bomb still has a lot of kill pressure.
Definitely. And later on, I'm actually interested in seeing how this will eventually manifest. Although, if anything, because of how proactive Veer is on the map, especially in the early game of the
we got a hook onto Need, but they might position him into a play against Navi, taking a few turret shots. It's got to be very dangerous. Blizzard still has heal up. Will he go for it? The potions actually save him, saving the heal on Blizzard.
Man, oh man, this is what we've been talking about, the hooks coming in left and right from Misa. And I like how Navi gets the chompers to layer on top of the hook once it does come in, just so that they could exert the maximum damage that they can. And it's really telling that, if anything, very refreshing as well, because I've actually had a big question as to whether or not Navi and Misa N can perform, especially with the performance from the semifinals.
Oh, he's going for a repeat gank in the mid lane. And as you said, in that bot lane, yes. Navi and Misian really pulling it off here in the bot lane, but Veer trying to go for some ganks here. Navi almost gets hit by that death sentence, but tilt over Peacemaker does not finish off Misian with a shield from his passive.
And that was, I'm not sure, Misian was probably panicking at that point because he walked straight into that trap right there. So, but nonetheless, he does survive, so very good on for the bot lane of QB.
Still a lot of pressure. Oh, look at the charm immediately onto Berserk. Berserk has no chance of escaping this. Chan takes away the kill. man, he's just getting camped at this point, and that's understandable because Berserk very, very weak in the early game on that Malzahar.
Yeah.
Malzahar has no chance to fight against the Ari, especially that he no longer has Flash. That decisiveness from Mom is impressive.
Oh,
Look at that hook onto the support of TUP. This might be a kill onto, not Blizzard. It's going to be Neep taking away the kill, confirming the kill.
But regardless, we've been championing how Mise N is all about those. But then again, you could say the same for Neep. Like I mentioned, he's the best Thresh player in the LCL, arguably, in my opinion. So that being said, it's all about the skill shots for both sides. The hooks, actually. Not the skill shots in general, but the hook shots particularly.
Hook City here in the bot lane, population 4. It might be 3 once Sphere immigrates down here to the bot lane, but
Yeah,
the pressure that he pulled earlier definitely helped out UPD because that left Mise N open to be at enough health to be taken out.
On the other hand, I really like how proactive Chan is in
Yes.
these early phases because we've been talking about, I've been comparing TUP to how they're kind of similar to TIP, wherein they have a really good chance if they could really snowball early on. Like I mentioned, win lane, win game, kind of like what TIP went during their own prime. So that being said, the big question, I mean, not really a question, but I'm wondering actually if TUP could really speed ahead in terms of snowballing, because if they just allow it to, if they just get those small kills, like if they're not able to make it a substantial, huge margin, then that's where that actually gives more opportunities for UPD to thrive and come back into the mid and later phase of the game.
That's
'Cause
true.
like we mentioned, they were the king of objectives in terms of that first game. So it's because of those small things that there's so much that TUP has to account for, that if ever they're going to rely on the strategy of winning lane, winning game, or just kind of overwhelming UPD in terms of getting kills, then they have to really get things going on heavily in the earlier phases. Because if it's more of a scenario where it's just equal, then without a doubt, UPD is just going to collapse on TUP in terms of the overall macro play.
Yeah, it seems like TUP is really playing it very well though. Like look at Sean. Still going for more ganks against Berserk. The CS difference is in Bomb's favor. The kills are in Bomb's favor. Berserk 0-2 will not be super relevant just yet until he roams with his ultimate. And being pushed in constantly by Bomb means that those roams will come much slower. So that's one thing that UPD will have to suffer and endure through. The hook almost hitting Neep, but I think hitting Neep with a hook there might have been dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, like, once he gets hooked in, they could probably do a
Oh,
counterplay
here
of his
comes
own.
Spear going onto Bomb. Bomb still has a Spirit Rush. Ultimate for ultimate trade, but this does reveal the position of the UPD jungler. Meanwhile, Sean might be rotating there to the bot lane. He does not have the Cataclysm just yet, but it might be enough damage burst coming from that Jarvan, or they might just go for the turret here actually. And plus, Bomb is right around the corner. UPD has to back off in the bot lane. Neat exhaust Bomb to try and deny a lot of damage, but he gets hooked. Man, it's going to be Blizzard, going to be taken down with the rocket coming from Navi. Here comes Spear to try and save the day. Kicks off Sean, finishes off the kill against him. It's going to be Neep and Veer trying to chase down Bomb. He no longer has Spirit Rush. Flash is also not available. The play is going to confirm the kill with a turret shot, but now it's going to be Veer taking a few rockets, being taken out by Navi. Triple kill onto the jungler of UPD, but a shutdown, a very big shutdown, and 2 kills for Navi.
Man, still, even though Nami did get those 2 kills, I was actually wondering where Navi was in all of that when UPD started going for their own counter engage.
Seems like he was going for the turret as
Yeah.
well as not diving too deep. I think he felt the safety of the Super Mega Death Rocket. Let's break that down.
Yeah, let's go ahead
Arctic.
and check out what happened here. So, yeah, like what I'm wondering where Navi is. So, it was kind of left at the turret because they didn't have a wave. So, that being said, only left 3 members of TUP to fend for themselves. There was...
That rocket was great.
Yeah, that rocket was really good. But then again, these are 2 very healthy members of UPD still, especially Veer here. And considering all said and done, Bomb is kind of left in an awkward position because there's not really much he could do at this point. He's separated from the rest of TUP, gets isolated, takes hefty damage from both Veer and Neep, but still, Navi, good on him to get this double kill. I feel like it could have been better. It's just that Navi, he didn't have a creep wave under that turret to follow.
Yeah, and that's definitely big for UPD and TUP as well. Getting the BF Sword and Zeal onto Navi will be much better than just the pickaxe onto Blizzard. The attack speed, I think, really multiplies the BF Sword compared to pickaxe. Here comes Veer. I think he will be taking out this Infernal Break very cleanly and almost at full health, so he will still be in a state to clear his jungle and gank. So TUP has to watch out.
Oh, man. And yeah, that being said, this is very, very reminiscent in a way of the earlier game. But in the sense that, like I mentioned, this is still fairly equal in terms of the deaths. Without a doubt, TUP does have that potential to keep up to par with UPD in that aspect because they are mechanically gifted. I definitely give them that. But like I mentioned, as a common problem with most LCL teams, the macro play is still in question, and that's what.
Oh, immediately going on to BCN. He doesn't have the flash. I don't think he's getting out of this. Neep secures the kill.
Oh, Neep. We've been
2-0 and 3 Neep.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really.
Look at me. I'm the captain now. I'm the carry now.
Yeah, he go carry while Blizzard 0-1-3. Yeah.
0-1 and 3. But still, a kill onto Neep extends his gold a little bit so he can roam faster. Oh, actually gets a hook onto Navi. That is going to be the cannon barrage, doing a lot of damage onto both of these bot laners of UPD. Navi finishes off the kill. There's going to be this teleport for Iconic, but I think it might be too late. Has to cancel it. Another double kill onto Navi. Very, very scary.
Yeah, I mean, 4 is in 0 right now. Like 2/3 of the kills going on to Navi right there. But yeah, that being said, this is something that TUP could actually potentially invest on. But at the same time, looking at their composition, it's not like they could go for a full protect the Navi type of scenario because they don't really have as much utility to do that.
But the thing is, though, if Navi gets ahead enough, Navi can really protect himself.
Yeah.
He has enough range with the rockets. And with if he gets a reset, that's even more safety for him and snowball potential in the team fight. Now, the thing is, though, that's also the power of the rocket, the cannon barrage coming from the gangplank that Acedia has. He's not getting a lot of kills. He is ahead in the lane against Iconic in terms of the gold, the CS, because he is trading better. He has his Triforce now, which is going to extend his lead into top lane. Plus, the cannon barrage can get easy assists and really scare off the members of UPD, because the damage from cannon barrage with the Thunderlord's Decree is actually substantial.
Oh man, so there's definitely a lot on the line for the pressure is definitely on Navi in a sense. Very reminiscent of what happened to TUP in the semifinals, wherein we've been championing how Acedia has all the carry potential, but it did come to a point wherein Acedia
Navi
itself did fall behind before.
Oh man, Beer might have to escape from this gunpowder thing in the top lane. Look at the damage that's coming from Chan and Acedia. The burst is definitely real.
This is what you'd expect of two players that have played even outside the LCL. Like I did mention before, they have played with each other in
for something
CF.
in the bot lane though. Okay,
Yeah.
just a little bit of something. Then not really transitioning into anything.
Yeah.
Berserk trying to go for the roam.
Good attempt though, but yeah. I'd say this is a little bit slower in a sense. We do see these small skirmishes, but nothing particularly definitive that we could say it swings to a certain team's favor. But then again, like we mentioned, one of the people that we want to look out for here is Navi because with the 4-0. But we have a
hook
fight.
onto Navi because BCN cannot go to the front line. But look at the damage coming from Navi. Still gets taken out by the headshot from Blizzard. Now it's going to be BCN in trouble. Neep gets another kill, 3-1 and 4. But that is decisive coming to the bot lane. But now it's going to be Bomb trying to go for something for an escape here. That's going to be the Void Gaze onto him. Lots of damage. The Cannon Barrage finishes Neep off, and Blizzard slowed down by the Cannon Barrage. Charmed as well. Seems like he won't be killing Bomb today.
Whoa.
That's the Cannon Barrage. Being able to deny kills and get gold on top of that. The bank plank is happening, and Iconic is under duress here. Gets dunked by Chan. He's surviving a little bit more, but not enough damage to finish off Acedia. Plus, he had the orange to really top his health out.
Man, Iconic just can't catch a break in most of these games here. I kind of feel for him in a sense because
Wow, look at
we
the
have
size of the hits knocked up. The Thunderlord's Degree does finish off this Pirate, and now this Lee Sin is going to try and take out Chan, but the minions are really blocking his way from the Sonic Wave. I think he has to back off from this because the burst from Chan can come and will take out Veer.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of burst, indeed, we did see how much damage. I was actually quite surprised by that damage output that they exerted earlier on both Obeer and Iconic.
I think he was saving health for the Rift Herald. He is under vision though, which means that Bomb will definitely go to him. He takes a hit, sees that his friend might be in trouble. He is zoning out Bomb, but Misian is also here, so I think Veer definitely has to give up this Rift Herald, which would have been a great objective to get for UP Diliman.
Exactly. This is the strategy that Neep has been talking about, wherein he's very much more comfortable going for roams and investing on helping other teammates across the map with the comfort of also leaving Blizzard, knowing that he is on a Caitlyn. So he does have that long range to grant him a little bit more safety in that laning phase.
And yeah, Caitlyn can still survive a lot against Navi on that Jinx. The problem is though, because Missy N, very dangerous. He doesn't have the flash for any of those.
Ooh, that's slow though.
I think that's gonna be very dangerous. Ooh. The Lantern actually does save him, but Navi trying to go for a little bit of the turret action. Three members down here for UPD and TUP. The rotations come from both of these teams, really responding to each other very, very well. Neat might be in trouble though. Actually gets the initiative onto the hook, but can't really go in on that.
And I gotta commend the Neep here, actually building boots of mobility right off the bat, granting him that strength in terms of emphasizing the roam potential that he has
Yeah.
and the overall strategy that UPD has in general to exert this level of pressure across the map.
Infernal Drake, gonna be the pickup for TUP. Lots of vision for TUP, but very dark on the side of UPD, so they have to be very, very careful on how they play this. That's gonna be the Void Gaze onto Bomb. Look at the hook going onto him now. That's gonna be the Karen Barrage dealing lots of damage. A true damage cannonball actually hits square onto Veer, giving Sean the double kill. And that's gonna be Blizzard between two members that now is going to be flashing away. Look at the damage coming from Blizzard now, even when he's behind Navi. Now Navi has to run away while Berserk still going on to him. The teleport from Acedia has to be cancelled. So that's the end of that fight. 1 for 3 in favor of UPD.
Yeah, they definitely have a lot of options in the case. They could push lane,
Will
they could
they
push
able-
mid, they could get Dragon. And yeah, this is another scenario wherein UPD is going to come on,
Gonna get
on
first
top.
turret. It's actually going to be UPD with 3 members taking away just a few seconds separating these 2 first turrets of the game. And in the end, UPD gets first turret of the game, but TUP gets 2 turrets off of that. It seems like UPD is not stopping though, going for another. So in the end, it's an equal trade, but more control of the map for UPD. Plus first
Definitely.
turret of the game.
I mean, let's go ahead and check out what happened here though. So,
Look at that max range
I mean,
hook.
yeah, exactly. And then the max range, really good timing there.
The
hook
play.
just at the end. And then it's just very interesting here for UPD at this point. So even though Sean, the damage is absolutely insane, but because of how UPD is faster on their feet here, and Blizzard actually almost stuck him in that fight, but he did go down with
Yeah,
that
he was
kill.
surrounded already.
Yeah.
But TUP decides to escape the fight,
There you
leaving
go.
him safe. And that's the power again, as I was saying, the cannon barrage of the Gangplank is really global pressure across any kind of team fight. And because Sean locked everyone down, including Veer, that left him open to get chunked down. Look at, you saw that damage of that true damage cannonball. Oh, and it's going to be Navi actually fighting off against Blizzard, who will get the lucky crit, but it's going to be the Piltover Peacemaker sealing the deal for Blizzard, getting the double kill. I think that was a 1v2 outplay.
Yeah, definitely. And Blizzard really performing, and this is where I feel UPD will start really kicking up the
Yeah, they really equalized the lead that Bomb built, and look at that. The KDA only separating Bomb and Berserk are 2 assists. And
Yeah.
plus, Blizzard caught up and is even ahead of Navi at this point. Almost equal in CS, 4 more assists than his counterpart.
But that being said, if you're gonna compare an Ari to a Malzahar, like Berserk could actually afford to have this kind of KDA in comparison to Bomb. Although Bomb is indeed heavier on the assist, but considering he is running an Ari, I would have preferred that he would have had a much more substantial or better KDA.
Look
But
at
we have a
that.
amazing
PCN
end though.
in trouble for Zerg. Kind of trying to finish him off. Does not have mana and it's not even in range, so has to give up that kill. But still, a lot of pressure. Leaves Blizzard alone to free hit on that turret a little bit. But since Acedia is around, have to respect the barrel damage.
Indeed, and Misa, and the passive actually saving his life right there, because he was taking a hefty amount of damage. But yeah, nonetheless,
That's online for him.
like I
Saved
was
his life.
saying, I would have preferred a better KDA for Bomb at this point, because in terms of Berserk, sure, 1, 2, 3, not exactly. I mean, of course, it would be good to actually have a lot of kills, but then again, this is a Malzahar, and when you consider a Malzahar, the utility in itself, because of the ult, the Nethergrass, in itself is enough.
As well as the silence. The split-second silence could actually mean a difference with Bomb living or not when he rushes in, and he cannot rush out because he's silenced by the Q.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the Void Gaze. The Void Gaze duration doesn't get stopped, but here comes the Cannon Barrage to try and slow down UPD. Look at the damage coming from that. Berserk gets taken down. Hook almost hits Veer. but because of all that damage
Ooh.
from that cannon barrage, they have to be pushed into this turret. Blizzard already below half health, has the Warlord's Bloodlust to recover health, but I don't think he's in a position to do so. Chan gonna get taken down by Neep once again, getting another kill. Neep now taking a lot of damage. Blizzard takes the ace in the hole, actually gets a damage. That's gonna be Iconic and Beer trying to clean up. Everyone on TUP is very, very low. Actually gets a shock blast against Bomb and takes him out, and a crit onto Missy N. Actually finishes off with UPD in the lead of the team fight unexpectedly, and now they're going to transition this into more turrets. The inhibitor turret will be their target. Death timers are 10 seconds, Bomb at 20. This is going to be enough time for UPD to get this turret. Acedia is very, very low, can still deal lots of damage with the barrels, but look at that pushing potential coming from that Rift Herald. She is going crazy on these structures, but she cannot get the inhibitor.
Oh man, an inhibitor turret down within the first 20 minutes of the game. This definitely caused problems for TUP in terms of getting control over this map. Like we did mention, UPD is the champion of macro play in comparison to all LCL.
Let's break down that fight.
Yeah, exactly. This is
Damage
very
of the cannon
interesting here.
barrage, but look.
So Chan actually getting the kill right away, or actually goes to Misa N. But that being said, this actually allows UPD to kind of reverse things eventually. So TUP trying to continue the push here, but this actually causes...
They don't have a wave.
Yeah, exactly. And that hook onto Chan, because he is a more damage-oriented Jarvan IV, easily goes down. And then at this point, look at the damage here coming from UPD at this point. TUP just trying to back away, but because of how far they in, and the follow... Look at Fear here, though. Almost. But then
Very clean.
at the end of the day, exactly, much more clean for UPD Liman. And this causes so many more problems for TUP. Like I mentioned, UPD, this allows them so much more control over the map. And I don't know, man, because if anything, like I mentioned, the saving grace for TUP here would have been how they could actually go up to par in terms of kills. But right now, 12 and 18, UPD on top of everything right now.
Yeah, and the Blizzard actually gets a lot more ahead than Navi in terms of the kills and the assists, and this means this skews the goal to his side even with the 20 CS lead of Navi, meaning that it's very scary. Even if Blizzard had to be forced out of the fight there, because he's a Caitlyn, he's playing Caitlyn, even if he's at that sliver of health, he can still really free hit. And then since he was feeding, he was able to get the double kill at the back end of that fight. The ace in the hole really helped him out as well.
And yeah, that being said, what's interesting here is that whatever silver lining that TUP kind of had on banking on Navi is kind of voided at this point, because if you're going to look across the board for all the members of UPD, with the exception of Berserk, although acceptable, is the fact that everyone's stellar KDAs right now for Iconic, for Veer, for Blizzard especially. We've been kind of pegging on how Blizzard might have been taking a little bit more of a safer stance in this game, but considering his KDA right now, he's clearly one of the superstars for UPD.
And really working out for him. I know that we talk down on Blizzard a lot for not being as mechanically skilled as the rest of UPD. Even in their interview video, Neep said that he has the obedience to follow better players on his team. But looking at this really will move very well for UPD. The lockdown from Sean is there, but I think this just leaves the terrain open for Blizzard to continue free hitting here. Gets taken down, and that's a lot of downtime that Blizzard is not free hitting. But look at the damage is still there for these two members of UPD. Iconic and Blizzard clean up the fight. Acedia gonna try and get away. There is no ace in the hole available. I think they have to give up the fight here, but that will be the mid lane inhibitor for UPD.
Oh man, and one of the trickier parts here for TUP is that they could only do so much in these fights here, especially that across the board, everyone is pretty much damage-oriented. Sure, you could get a great startup from the Jarvan IV, and technically could assassinate targets. We have seen how fast they were able to convert onto Berserk earlier. But that being said, once all of that's gone, and if they're not able to overwhelm UPD within those first few seconds of those initiation, then UPD easily topples over them, and we did see how that happened. So let's go ahead and check things out here. So exactly, so TUP actually in a great position here to start things. It's just that this is the problem that they have here. That small window of initiation that they have. Sure, they're able to take down 3 members of UPD here, and we have to attribute it to Navi in this case. But with all said and done, like I mentioned, that window of opportunity, that small window actually leaves TUP vulnerable at this point because they exhaust a lot of resources taking down those members, and it's pretty much a cleanup for Iconic and Blizzard at this point.
Yeah.
And this is the
Another fight already
Oh.
after the replay. Sean gets chunked down to half health. Blizzard is still doing lots of damage. It's going to be Veer fearlessly going for the kick against that champion and actually takes out the kill. Neep still good chasing here. Na'Vi has to be careful. Bomb as well. He has a Spirit Rush. Can potentially go for a kill onto Blizzard. Actually goes for it. The charm does not connect to the right champion. And now Blizzard's going to flash in. The red buff will slow him down while Iconics taking out Na'Vi. Gets rooted, but here comes Berserk to try and save him. The rocket still goes through, but Berserk cleans up the job. Still going to be a 3-4-2 in favor of UPD still.
Definitely.
Yeah, look, that's an action-packed gameplay.
I-
And in the fight before this, the fight that we had, okay, there's
Yeah.
another replay.
So yeah, let's go ahead and check out what happened after that replay. So yeah, again, TUP, this is a problem though for TUP at this point because technically they start off this fight 4v2. So this doesn't really allow TUP that many options at this point with one of their members down. But Veer actually managing to
charm.
yeah, exactly. And again, this is one of those scenarios where TUP couldn't really deal with UPD considering the lead that they have right now. So I don't know, man, because looking at the composition that TUP has, sure they have the damage output, and sure Na'Vi 5-2, but the problem is because of how I still find them a little bit more squishy to actually last in these fights. That's the problem that I've had.
Na'Vi cannot free hit for too long compared to Blizzard.
Exactly.
Because when it comes to the damage game, both of these teams have very damage-oriented compositions. With UPD, because they're ahead, are actually ahead in that. Plus, they have a solid front line as well, just with Neep. And I love how decisive UPD is with the Dark Passage. We saw in the fight before the other fight where Berserk immediately went in with a Dark Passage to try and take down either Na'Vi or Bomb with a Void Kick. It actually worked for them. Look at that, Ace in the hole immediately onto Bomb to try and take them out. Berserk finishes the job. Cannon Barrage a little bit late, does not actually deal a lot of damage, but it's now going to be Veer on the back end of the fly trying to escape. Look at how tanky he is, and he's really dishing out a lot of CC and peel as well. Tron tries to go for Berserk and Blizzard, but gets taken down. The arena is closed now. Blizzard trying to go for some free hits. Acedia might go for something here. He does have the advantage of having long-range barrels, but I don't think he's fast enough to take this. Still very dangerous. If he gets hooked by Acedia, he does have the remove Scurvy, but that's an animation that Blizzard can take advantage of. Look at that.
Man.
Blizzard really baiting out Acedia.
But yeah, I mean, finally,
2 for 3, yeah, TOP in favor.
yeah, there you go. And this is what's nice about what happened here for TUP is that UPD was kind of separated in this fight in a way. So that being said, because UPD wasn't in full collapse, it actually allowed Na'Vi to slowly just kind of free hit on whatever members are accessible to him on UPD, as opposed to the full collapses earlier that we've seen on UPD. So that being said, look at Acedia here, actually quite healthy, but the damage at the same time coming from Blizzard, which is why he couldn't really go full on invest, because still you gotta respect the standing that Blizzard has right now.
The goal that separates these two teams is actually not that big. The Drakes are actually in TOP's favor. So, in terms of the damage, UPD is ahead, but when it comes to the flank, Berserk gets to safety with a Dark Passage, but still, if TUP gets a good flank, UPD will suffer, and if UPD is not grouped up when that happens, this will be very dangerous. Trying to go for something, hooks onto Berserk. Dragon Strike combo actually hits no one, and that's going to be the Cannon Barrage to try and zone away UPD.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
seems like they have other plans, shoving this mid lane in.
even though Berserk was a pretty good target to get, the problem there was that TUP, if you're going to look at their life bars, in comparison to UPD,
Well,
that's
they're
fairly
going
healthy.
for Nexus turrets here. They do have a big wave building up. Actually, going for the inhibitor, rather. They do have a pretty big wave building up here, and taking advantage of how TUP was playing so much around the Baron side that they neglected the mid lane. And now UPD naturally transitioned this into an Ocean Ray.
Yeah,
Or a bait. Could go for a bait, because TUP does not have any vision around that bot side. Can go for a pickoff or a bait here. Neep decisively goes for a Dark Passage, and wow, the alley-oop coming from here to go for the damage, but the damage from Sean also there. Iconic finishes off Sean. Berserk has to run away. Blizzard still dealing lots of damage, as Na'Vi is hitting so well in this, but now he's in range of Blizzard. Actually, why did he go for that? He was in range now for Blizzard, which left his advantage lost.
Oh man, and this is what I've been talking about here. Actually, later on during this game, Navi's gonna be quite the force to be reckoned with. But that being said, there's still that question wherein there's not enough of a solid meat shield front line, in my opinion,
That's true.
to
Let's
allow
look at it here.
grant that opportunity to Navi. So let's go ahead and see here. Neep really distracting Navi right here, and as a result, it allows other members of UTD to collapse on the other members here. Sean, actually, again, the squishiness is so it's crazy, and at this point, Berserk does go down, but again, UP Diliman
It's so bad for UPD.
yeah, and Navi here, the positioning
Navi,
was
why?
very
You-
problematic. Like you
He got
mentioned,
greedy.
was in range of Blizzard at that point. And again, you gotta respect the damage coming from Blizzard.
He got greedy to kill off Iconic. He should have had a Cedia frontline for him. at
Exactly.
least.
I
He should have
couldn't
backed off.
I couldn't heavily 100% blame it on Navi, although he was overly aggressive. But then again, Acidi at the same time was fairly healthy. But
Yeah.
at the same time,
And he had Sterax as well.
yeah,
So there was no reason for Acedia not to frontline there because Navi left himself open. If Navi rather was really hitting from a safe distance, he would not have been shrunk down to that level of health, and he could have cleaned up the UPD squad, and that would have been a huge win for TOP because that would have been a Baron.
exactly. And with all said and done, these are some of the plays which actually puts another question into my mind with regards to TUP. The coordination, they do have these certain moments of disconnect between members, which actually causes these mispositions to happen, especially for Navi at this point. And considering that you are running composition wherein technically you could have potentially banked on Navi, but at the same time not having the proper front line to do so, this definitely causes problems for TUP. And UPD at this point, I mean, the macro plays just there, and they're always one step ahead in terms of the decision making in comparison to TUP. That, if anything, I actually find TUP much more active at this point.
Yeah, and being forced into a reactive role when you have Gangplank, Jarvan, and Ari is something that you do not want to be in. It's not a position that you want to play in. And because they are in a reactive position, and defensive one, that means Iconic can really hit from far away with the Empowered Shock Blast. The tilt over Peacemakers from Blizzard as well are very scary. The thing is, TOP has the wave clear.
I like the fact that Chan, if you're gonna look at his build right now, actually went for
Ooh,
Login
goes
Live
for the hook
Ferrari.
onto Iconic, but does not get the knockup after that. That's just going to be a flash burn onto Iconic, but he's still going to go strong here.
Oh
Still
man.
going for the C's. Look at that trap line from Blizzard. So even if they can't get to the turret just yet, the mid lane is pushing, and Acedia has his attention there.
Damage on Bomb. This will definitely cause a lot more deficiencies for TP. If anything, they might
a
have to give
signal.
up this inner turret in the top lane, and of course
Wow.
that'll be another objective siege by UP Diliman. But
Seems like the Baron will be their next target, just going for Vision here most likely, because TUP, they can do it quickly, but this is way too dangerous for them to immediately start, so this might actually be just a bait on the corner, because Neep's waiting around the wings. He is going to go for it.
Ooh.
Blizzard actually takes the Dark Passage. Neep goes in, but is that the right hook target? This doesn't put him in a good position to frontline for his team. Now it's going to be Chan going in, but gets taken down almost immediately. But now UPD is very, very low. Berserk goes down. Blizzard is at like a sliver of health. The GA gets popped. The Dark Passage actually keeps him alive there. And they're going for the Baron. They are so low. TUP does not have Super Mega Death Rocket. They might go for a bait here. Seems like Veer has to pull off from this Baron. Navi is way too much of a threat to continue this objective.
But yeah, I mean, that was a very gutsy move by UP Diliman there. But that would have been a high-risk, high-reward type of scenario. But let's go ahead and check out what transpired in the clash here. Not exactly the best hook target here for
Look
Neep.
at damage.
And with all said and done, if anything, I was actually thinking that TB might have been at a disadvantage here because Navi was a little bit later on to get auto attacks in. But then again, look at the damage output coming here from Bomb. Because UPD was already preparing to just kind of back away. But still, one of the members got caught out at the end of the day. But slowly, we're actually seeing signs of life from TUP.
Yeah.
And especially, I feel that once Chan is a little bit more tankier, because that, I continue to say, this is one of the problems right here. Chan has all the potential to go in front line for TUP. It's just that he was so squishy
He's
during the
always
earlier
the first
fights.
to die in these
Exactly.
team fights.
But then again, if you're going to look at the items that he's been going for after the damage-oriented jungle item, it's definitely leaning more towards the tankier role.
Yeah.
And I actually like that because, like I mentioned, once you have a much more
Oh,
solid
that's going
front
to be
line,
Sean once
Ooh.
again. Locked down and then taken out. Blizzard is legendary. And I think UPD's not going to stop at one kill. They are going for the Baron. Whether they're going for the objective itself or baiting TUP to go in on them, Either way, this might be a huge win for UPD if they get it. And they do get the buff uncontested.
And the rocket actually misses for Navi
Doesn't
right
hit any
there.
champions, just passes by Baron.
And wow, this is going to be huge for UPD Liman at this point. And I'm actually having flashbacks of what happened during a PGS game yesterday. But it was basically the scenario was that once one of those members of TUP got picked off, that was that.
The jungler as well, especially.
Yeah, especially the jungler, wherein if you wanted an opportunity to contest that Baron, you needed that smite. So
now they no longer have the smite. And look at this, UPD has such a good sieging composition with the Voidlings, with the Empowered Shock Blast, with the range of Blizzard. But TUP has the wave clear to actually fight it out. But that's almost hitting Veer there with a hook. But since these Baron of minions, oh my god, that's actually the hook connecting onto Navi. Instantly takes him out. That's all of the damage of TUP out. Sean goes for the lockdown with the Cataclysm, but Blizzard is not stopping with the kills. Bomb gets a kill against Veer, but the rest of UPD still going strong. UPD below half health. Blizzard might be in trouble, but Bomb, look at the damage he does to Bomb in one auto attack. Now it's going to be the inhibitors going down for for TUP. This is a very dangerous spot for them. With the 80 carry still alive, this leaves them open to push really, really hard.
And oh my goodness, especially looking at the death timers, those are actually pretty hefty, especially for a CDS. Still 40 seconds left on his clock. So if anything, UPD has all the potential to just clear out this inhibitor as well, and this will just cause more problems. UP will be kind of forced to play a much more active defensive role to just try to fend off their base.
They're backing off, and because the inhibitors that got destroyed were mid lane and top lane. Okay, let's break down the team fight.
Yeah, man, this is a great hook coming from Neep, the
Max
prime
range.
target from TUP. And that being said, the damage output is lowered exponentially for TUP. That they can only be reactive. They don't have any damage to counter the aggression coming from UPD. And it's just all a matter of a collapse at this point. Then again, Blizzard, I gotta commend this guy. I think we have to shut our mouths at this point as to discounting Blizzard because he's clearly performing beyond expectation in this game. And I don't know, man. UPD.
Look
really
at that,
strong.
another fight already, with starting off with Blizzard getting a kill and Sean getting taken down once again by that sniper. 2 for 1. Seems like that Elder Drake was just a bait for TUP to go in. It seems like UPD now still going for it. Cedia is alone. He's not the tankiest guy. He does have the Sterax, but has to pull away from that. And now it's going to be UPD closing in on his mid lane. We'll go for the turrets here. The Nexus turrets will be their target. They still have the buff on Blizzard. This is going to be very scary. The hook does not hit anyone, but Blizzard might be in trouble. Below half health, he does have the Warlord's Bloodlust to recover his health, and the GA
all they
is
need
not
is
actually available. But they just have to get a few good hits. Look at that health recovery with the Warlord's Bloodlust. That's going to be Neep actually going in, and Navi instantly gets taken down with a Void Gaze. No chance to escape, and now Blizzard all this time has been free hitting on those turrets. 4 members down for TUP means that this is going to be another win for UPD. 2-0 so far in this best of 5 series. A CD cannot do anything on that Gangplank right now. 2-0 so far.
And UPD demand 1 step away from the champion title.
Match point. So now TUP's chances are lower. Let's look at the last replay of that fight, because we missed like the first half of that.
So there we go. Visen not actually getting a substantial look, and actually, as a result, gets kicked into the Baron pit. But yeah, man, oh man, Neep has really been showing up in this game, and Blizzard, just the damage, you really have to look at the Sean though, actually manages to get Fear, but because of how squishy he is, again, the continuing problem that I have with this Jarv in the fourth. And at this point, with all these members of UPD, and technically you don't really have the best defense. Sure, Asadia could clear out waves, but then again, you have a Baron empowered wave right there, so
Really, really well played by UPD that game. They had a very rough start. Berserk had a very, very rough start. But he was able to recover. Plus, he's relatively low econ for a mid laner on that Malzahar. And even with a super huge lead that Navi built in that bot lane, because of how the rest of his team played, and he and the rest of his team played, and how UPD responded to it, they were able to get back and just snowball from there. The counter snowball.
And you know, TUP, like we've been championing how they could go up to par with UPD in these fights, but one thing that was problematic right there, and I'm not sure if it's because of them, I think it's a combination of TUP, the mispositioning, and at the same time Neep being so on point with these hooks, especially that last one on Navi. That was a game changer. That was a full-on game changer for UPD. And look at the KDA again, Blizzard.
Wow, 16-2-7. That puts his KDA so high up there. His KDA in this game is like 15.5. Wow, that's huge. Look at the damage we're looking for. I think we have to shut up about Blizzard right now.
Yeah, we just have to stop it right there.
Because he has shown a lot of growth from the interconference into the semis, into the finals. And I have to commend his safety. But he's not alone there. It's also neat being so good of a support there in the bot lane that keeping him alive. And the rest of his team was a very good support system for that AD carry as well.
At the end of the day, the teamwork definitely prevails.
That's true.
So we'll just have to see. UPD, the momentum is definitely in their court. Whether or not TUP could pull off a reverse sweep, that's a very tricky scenario for them. But of course,
UPD, their momentum, if they have the momentum, they're going to push for it. But TUP, they've shown that they can go for these Titan, just cutting down the Titans. They can perform that, but it's going to be very hard. They have to pull out every single trick in the book for them to actually face up against UPD.
and play the games to the T, because we can't discount the fact that even though they played to their strengths in that first game, the macro play, again, UPD. So they have to really just again, win lane, win game. I feel like they have to win so
They
hard.
have to change paradigms for that.
And yeah,
Either they win so hard in lane that UPD cannot catch back up, or they have to change how they play.
And whether or not they could pull them off in such a short time, this is the finals. So not that much opportunity, but of course, ladies and gents, we'll just have to see later on during Game 3 if they will be able to prevail.
Of course, we've been your shoutcaster for the second game of this best of 5 series. I'm Atlas. With me was Arctic. We'll be back after a break for Game 3. Might be in trouble. Below half health, he does have the Warlord's Bloodlust to recover his health, and the GA.
Yeah, all they
is
need
not
is that
actually available. But they just have to get a few good hits. Look at that health recovery with the Warlord's Bloodlust. That's going to be Neeb actually going in, and Navi instantly gets taken down with a Void Gaze. No chance to escape, and now Blizzard all this time has been free hitting on those turrets. 4 members down for TUP means that this is going to be another win for UPD. 2-0 so far in this best of 5 series. As CD cannot do anything on that Gangplank right now. 2-0 so far.
And
Giving the Void Gaze onto Bob. Look at the hook going onto him now. That's going to be the Cannon Barrage dealing lots of damage. A 2 damage Cannonball actually hits square onto Veer, giving Sean the double kill. That's going to be Blizzard between 2 members that now is going to be flashing away. Look at the damage coming from Blizzard now, even when he's behind Navi. Now Navi has to run away while Berserk still going onto him. Teleport from Acedia. Now taking a lot of damage. Blizzard takes the ace in the hole, actually gets the damage. That's going to be iconic. If you're trying to clean up, everyone on TOP is very, very low. Actually gets a shock blast against Bomb and takes him out. And a crit onto Missy N. But looking at this, this is really going very well for UPD. The lockdown from Sean is there, but I think this just leaves the terrain open for Blizzard to continue free hitting here. Gets taken down, and that's a lot of downtime that Blizzard is not free hitting. But look at the damage is still there. 4 of these 2 members of UPD, Iconic and Blizzard, clean up the fight. Acedia gonna try and get a work with it. Look at that ace in the hole, immediately onto Bomb to try and take him out. Berserk finishes the job. Cannon Barrage a little bit late, does not actually deal a lot of damage, but it's now gonna be Veer on the back end of the fight, trying to escape. Look at how tanky he is, and he's really dishing out a lot of CC and heal as well. Tron tries to go for Berserk and Blizzard, but gets taken down. The arena is closed now. Blizzard trying to go for some tickets. Acedia might go for something here. Decisively goes for a Dark Passage, and wow, the alley coming from here trying to go for the damage, but the damage from Sean also there. Iconic finishes off Sean. Berserk has to run away. Blizzard still dealing lots of damage. And Navi is hitting so well in this. But now he's in range of Blizzard. Actually, why did he go for that? He was in range now for Blizzard, which left his advantage. Blizzard actually takes the Dark Passage. He goes in, but is that the right hook target? This doesn't put him in a good position to frontline for his team. Now it's going to be Sean going in, but gets taken down almost immediately. But now UPD is very, very low. Berserk goes down. Blizzard is at like a sliver of health. The GA gets popped. The Dark Passage. Oh my god, that's actually the hook connecting onto Navi. Instantly takes him out. That's all of the damage of TOP out. Sean goes for the lockdown with the Cataclysm, but Blizzard is not stopping with the kills. Bomb gets a kill against here, but the rest of UPD still going strong. UPD below half health. Blizzard might be trouble. Below half health, he does have the Warlord's Bloodlust to recover his health, and the GA.
Yeah, all these
not actually available. But they just have to get a few good hits. Look at that health recovery with the Warlord's Bloodlust. That's going to be Neeb actually going in, and Navi instantly gets taken down with a Void Gaze. No chance to escape, and now Blizzard all this time has been free hitting on those turrets. 4 members down for TOP means that this is going to be another win for UPD. 2-0 so far in this best of 5 series. As CD cannot do anything on that Gangplank right now. 2-0 so far.
And UP Diliman one step away.
Not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.
Good afternoon, everyone, and we welcome you back to maybe, possibly, the last game of the grand finals of the Lenovo LCL 2017 Summer Split. We'll be your casters. I am Vulcan, and joining with me is my co-caster, Arctic, coming in from that explosive Game 2, a completely different game from actually Game 1, where we saw macro play. Game 2, more clash-oriented, but now Game 3, TUP's last chance to step up if they wish to still have a fighting chance for the grand final spot.
Man, I gotta hand it to UPD because I was thinking that TUP might have some kind of I mean, like, all teams have their own respective strengths. It's just that in this particular matchup, especially having watched both Game 1 and Game 2, parang almost every single aspect of the games, UPD seems to outclass TUP, whether it be mechanics, whether it be macro play, even the skirmishes like the micros wherein we think that TUP would win the clashes. Even UPD, they really showed that they could even go up to par, if anything, even perform even better than TUP. So going into Game 3, there's definitely a lot on the line for TUP. They really have to step up their game and pull off all the strength that they can into this single match right here and keep their fingers crossed for a reverse sweep. But of course, yeah, into the pick and ban phase we go. Fiora, Rakan, and Zach gonna be banned out from UPD Liman. So really, there's a lot of diversity there. But of course, with much respect to the champ pools of each respective player on UPD as to what strengths, as to how powerful they are on playing these champions. And Lulu, Vladimir, and Blitzcrank. So a little bit more leaning towards Misa N. We have been talking about how Misa N's champ pool has a certain level of limit. Although, what kind of saves that is the fact that when it comes to the skill shot-oriented support, he performs above and beyond.
And looking at the banning phase, as supports game go-wise, it's more kind of like a bonus in a way that you have your ADC, right? It's like that combo meal you get in a fast food chain. Like, you get fries, but you don't just eat the fries, you get a burger. Sometimes the fries are better than the burger. So in this case for UPD, right now Blizzard is not anymore this French fry. He's now an onion ring. Better, tastier. And now Neep is just going to be kinda at the backside, stepping down while giving Blizzard that spotlight. Whereas for TUP, I gotta say for Navi, he did have some moments where he shined, but it's the fact that when it comes to the extended team fights, as you said, they tend to fall off. They don't have enough sustainability in a team fight.
Yeah, and that being said, good comparison though, by the way. Kind of made me hungry. But yeah, I mean, one thing I'd actually like to give particular emphasis to is the fact that I actually noticed, looking at the bans from TUP, they didn't ban out the Elise from Beer, and that being said, medyo halata na pala yung reason. It's because they wanted to take the Elise for themselves since they are on the blue side. So they very well much do have the opportunity. So of course, looks like UPD will be sticking to what they know, and of course, why fix that? Something that isn't broken. Blizzard will once again be on the skate. I mean, he performed really well in Game 2. Like, we can't really discount him anymore because he had the best KD in that game. Clearly, stepping up there. Yeah, definitely. But it's a collaborative effort, I'd say, between UPD, and that's what makes them such a great team. The teamwork, and I just love how smart they've been playing out their entire season in the LCL. So yeah,
I like how TUP is drafting so far. More familiar champs we see this time compared to Game 2. But for the banning wise, was it okay to just take away the, let's say, Elise from Veer? This opens up for Kazakhs, and we haven't seen much of Veer's Kazakhs in a while. Normally it would be banned in some games, but this time it's open. So this is actually TUP's last chance if they wish to come out on top against UPD in this grand finals and to represent the Philippines in the incoming LICC.
And what an honor that would be to represent our country. And whoa, actually Neep gonna be playing this Bard here, another one of those champions which requires not only great mechanical skill, but you also have
Rome we was talking about during the interview.
Exactly. He's all about these roams here, and considering the kit that Bard has, it'll only emphasize that strength that he has all the more.
So this is going to be most probably, I gotta say, TUP's last draft if they do not perform properly. And as for UPD, this is actually a game they're entering more relaxed because they still have extra lives left. But still, this is something that they have to at least secure in.
Yeah, I mean,
They are still in the danger of being in a reverse sweep coming in for TUP. This is a team from 48 campuses now down to 2. This is someone you should not underestimate. Go out full force.
exactly. You know, whatever matchup you go into, you never want to kind of just slack around or
Have a match where
go all out. Just
Go
always
all
go
out.
all out.
All
Treat
out.
every game as though it's your last
game.
one.
And for
Exactly.
TUP, this is their very last one for maybe their last one in the spring term of the LCL. And I hope for TUP they are prepared. I like their draft so far. For UPD2, outstanding draft, but this time we're going to be seeing Iconic on a tank top. Normally we don't see actually a tank top, not the tank top clothes, but tank top as in Shen. So normally we did see Sejuani once, played by Iconic, did not really work out properly because why put Iconic on a tank role when he is going to be skating so well in a fighter role instead? But for Berserk, so a mid laner such as Berserk on an Oriana is something I can't wait to see.
Yeah, and we'll just have to see that later on. As we go into this video, we did hear from the players earlier. Let's go ahead and check out what the coach of UPD Diliman has to say.
I guess there's a bit of a grudge match with TUP, but really, facing anybody in the finals, it's fine. I'm confident we can just look at it cleanly because from my perspective right now, we're not really looking towards the finals of the LCL. We're looking towards Malaysia. We're looking towards China. That's what we want to go for.
And there we go, ladies and gentlemen, as we head into Game 3 for the Grand Finals of the Lenovo LOL Collegiate League 2017 Spring Term. Of course, this is going to be between Technological University of the Philippines against UP Diliman. Of course, UP Diliman at a great sitting at a 2-0 right now. Whether or not UP can go for the reverse sweep or whether or not this will be a clean 3-0, we'll just have to see as we see what transpires on Summer's Rift.
This is UPD entering the LCL with high goals, something that they want to achieve. And this is showing right now, entering the Grand Finals. A team who have only lost, so far, only one game the whole LCL spring term against TUP, who had some fumbles and troubles around the group stages, but this time, finally making it into the Grand Finals. Let's see what they have to offer in their probably their last game.
So yeah, I mean, again, looking at the composition here, looks like TUP, I was kind of hoping that they'd lean towards a composition which has a bit more utility, but looks like there is going to be a lot of damage across the board for TUP. I do like that they do have this Nami pickup. Sure, it doesn't really grant Mise N that opportunity to demonstrate how skilled he is on those skill shots, but he does have that bubble at least. But that being said, at least they have a little bit, yeah, basically the utility is there for the Nami. They have the heal, and it actually makes for a great setup as well, as opposed to Chan earlier, who was kind of starting most of the fights during Game 2 with that Cataclysm. So let's just see how that works out for TP at the end of the day.
Navi does not expect it though. Neat gets stunned in the wall. This will be a harassment onto Navi. Already half down health. This is going to give him that constant fear in the laning.
Definitely going to deter him a little bit, and it'll actually force Navi and Mise N to play it a little bit more safer in the first few minutes, but luckily that is a Nami, so Mise N could easily heal up whatever damage Navi took within that first minute.
So we'll be seeing actually a sustainable bot lane this time for TUP. Whereas UPD, they also have this sustain for Neat. He does have the freedom to roam around and leave Blizzard alone. He can just leave those heal pads alone, just set it there and just roam to the mid lane, possibly scouting out the enemy jungler and ward those deep visions is required for UPD if they wish to always have really good macro.
And yeah, I mean, so far, whatever harass that Navi, the damage that he took with it early, it's actually manifesting right now clearly in the group score. Blizzard actually a wave up in comparison to Navi, almost a wave up. But that being said, like I mentioned, Mise N now hitting level 2, so Navi actually just healing up all the damage. Ooh, actually uses the actually used that heal,
The ebb and
potential
flow.
heal. Yeah, the ebb and flow, and didn't quite connect onto Navi. Navi wasn't within the range to get that connection, so that it would bounce off. So it's those small things that TP has to put into consideration. Again, I've been mentioning how there have been mishaps of positioning during Game 2 for TUP, so hopefully this is something that they're much more conscious of playing in Game 3.
And going into Game 3, this time Blizzard will be in the spotlight. So will Veer be the one to help him have this fast start? No visions placed for TUP's side. Veer is patiently waiting in the brush.
Yeah.
Maybe waiting for Navi to overstep. Neat though, sitting up for a stun, does not connect. He does pursuit away from Veer's sleep.
Good try though from UPD. Again, this is the practices that I really like from here, whether it be ganking lanes and the overall rotation. So this is one of the reasons why I definitely feel Veer has played his best split yet.
Oh,
no, the
I
stun.
think Navi's in love with those walls. He does flash away from Blizzard. Ignite is onto Blizzard, but Veer is coming in. Chan is also there, stunning with the cocoon. Now it's going to be the finisher move. Flash was burned by Knee. Now Veer is very low. Chan is still looking for time to go in. Flash in by Misa and does not connect. That will be a first spot onto Chan, while Blizzard will just be backing away with the help. But I don't think that's done yet. Misa and helps Knee channel
man.
that stun.
Not a bad start at all for TUP. And that being said, again, I couldn't necessarily say that TUP's off to a great start because there is still that question that even though they have these small victories early game, it doesn't necessarily translate to realizing the bigger picture of spearheading them ahead in comparison to UPD Liman. So, like I mentioned, if they really want to capitalize on winning heavily in lane, they really have to get those stats going on within the first 10 minutes, because otherwise, once again, transitioning into the mid game, it'll all be a matter of going equal with UPD, and then UPD just kind of choking them out, whether it be in terms of objectives or even the skirmishes, which they're able to win because of performing more to the T.
So TUP tends to choke around these objectives, Arctic. What is their remedy for this type of... I wouldn't say it's... we always see it, so it's more of an illness that TUP has. What can treat it?
Again, this is the tricky part here because, like I mentioned, I champion UP Diliman as the best team. If anything, nobody comes equal to them in terms of the macro play in the LCL. So that being said, that's something that you could only learn with experience, practice, and one thing that a lot of teams lack is having a proper coach and in a way the level of analysis that UPD has. Because what's interesting here about UPD is not only are they mechanically gifted, but if you're gonna look at people like Iconic, like Neep even, sila yung mga, they're the type of players that are really smart when it comes to just League of Legends in general, which is why UPD is such a strong team. It's basically the best of both worlds for them, wherein they excel in mechanics and they also excel in terms of knowledge of the game.
So in short, it's the dedication that UPD brought to this spring term. Their goal was, as said in the video, to go to Malaysia and China, and it is showing right now in the grand finals. But for TUP's side, I don't think we heard distinct words yet, but here comes here. For a gank into the mid lane, Bam is kind of low on mana, just backs away.
Yeah, I was trying to insert a little bit more damage onto Berserk there while he can, but then again, he is very low on mana, so this will actually force a recall from him.
As for TUP's side, I think we have not heard these distinct words coming in from any of the members. Whereas UPD, they have set their goals high and they want to achieve it. But for TUP's side, I think they still lack some resolve going into this grand finals. This will be their last chance to step up. And I think for that first blood, this should be a wake-up call for TUP.
I think it's not necessarily the lack of resolve coming from TUP, because what's really interesting about the LCL is that there's, unlike if you're working with a PGS team wherein the players are technically being paid to commit, like to live as though LoL is life, wherein in comparison to collegiately, it's a little bit more trickier because they're balancing both playing the game and school at the same time. And what I really like about UPD kasi is that they were able to balance it in the sense na those moments wherein they are able to practice, they are able to go for these great scrims, even with professional teams. So talagang that's really good practice for them. So
practice and dedication is what you need if you wish to succeed in the grand finals.
Yes.
And from that bot lane, I think Navi was smart enough to use the calling to do the wave clear. Deny those CS under the turret for Blizzard, but we're seeing that Veer trying his best to pressure top and mid. But we did see kanina that Acidia was just playing around over the wall, just baiting out Veer, wasting his time there.
Man. And looking at, what's interesting here is that I'd actually like to point out the gold. So it's actually kind of leaning towards TUP. We could actually attribute it to the fact that, again, the kills that they got early on, that first blood, and even the CS for Navi, because he did get that upper hand of that staying power in comparison to Blizzard as a result of the casualty, and then at the same time, Acedia as well performing much exponentially better than Iconic. But then again, this is a Shen, so it's almost a given. So if anything, mas magiging prominent sa Iconic later on during the mid-late game once he does, well, he does have his ult actually, so
He offers more in the team fight, whereas Acidia on a Renekton is on, again, a ticking time.
yeah, and
Where
yeah, the ticking time, tapos at the same time, given the composition that UP has, sure, they do have the Nami, but if you're gonna look at the overall utility that UPD brings to this composition, it's definitely there. It's much more balanced kung ikukumpara mo sa TUP na there's a lot of damage, sure. So,
Chan gets spotted by Rift Scuttler. There will be the tidal wave for attempt to disengage, but a tempered fate will lock onto two members of TUP. UPD looking for a collapse, does miss the shot with Iconic, goes in for a flash taunt. Connects while Veer secures the kill.
oh man, Chan, if anything, sure, he did manage to save himself, but as a result, actually caused Misa N to go down instead. So, medyo that was a little bit of a domino effect right there. So, but UPD will be able to get this confirmed rate virtually uncontested.
A very easy objective for UPD on their composition will scale really well. As for Acidia, he did not have his teleport, so could not respawn. This is the advantage of having a Shen, but also at the same time a disadvantage where Acidia is left open to push the top lane.
Yeah, and Iconic, because he has his teleport down, he doesn't have that way of going right back to lane. That being said, Asidi is pushing hard, and not to mention since he has Tiamat, makes it all the more faster for him.
Oh, Navi. Better watch where you're going, taking a lot of punishment from Blizzard, and now he's going all in from the enchanted attacks, but Blizzard picks up the s'mores.
S'mores. Man, the food references. But yeah, Rift Herald though actually gonna be pushed right deep here, and with actually much efficiency because Acedia has that wave heavily pushed up top, and Iconic only just responding to kind of counterbalance it. So they will be giving it to Acedia though. So
Oh.
hopefully that Rift Herald would be used to max efficiency, wherein TUP could get a spear ahead of
This is actually bad news for Iconic in a way, but in the bot lane, Navi gets stunned yet again. Mr. N is there for the cover, but I was saying for the top lane, Acedia has the Rift Herald, right? And Renekton loves to split push. And Acedia is the type of champion, a player who likes to split push, pressuring the lanes. Kind of reminds me of JLC in a sense. So this kind of makes Iconic's job harder when he does make the teleport play or the stat united. He leaves his top lane at risk for being pushed by the Rift Herald, and if the Rift Herald was used effectively, can possibly destroy the inhibitor turret.
Yeah, and plus the fact that it's actually a great point kasi if you're gonna look at this, giving Rift Herald to Acedia is somewhat of a good counterbalance in my opinion to Iconic having that Stan United as part of Shen's kit, because Stan United grants Iconic that faster response into clash, not plus the utility of protecting your teammate, be granting that shield. Pero because of Acedia having that Rift Herald, the few minutes, not only does he have that pressure potential, but at the same time, that empowered recall actually allows him to get back to base faster, regen, and respond to lanes if ever TUP thinks ahead as to what strategy they want to go for on the map.
Interesting to see Chan making his approach onto Veer, spots him out, gets the combo onto him. Acedia also follows it up with a flash stun. That is just beautiful. And now TUP has summoned the Rift Herald. UPD must defend this.
Oh man, I'm not sure I like the efficiency of that Rift Herald right there, because the damage output ang baba na kasi ng turret ng outer mid eh.
It
So,
was not used effectively, and the fact that he was facing behind the members of UPD, that's actually an easy shot to its eye.
exactly. And I don't know, man. We were talking about how Acedia had that advantage of having
He
that
just
empowered
removed it.
recall. So he just removed
removed
it. So again,
I think it was a matter of being impatient. in a way.
impatient.
If Acedia took the still had the Rift Herald, he has hostage over Iconic's top lane.
Oh,
but right
no.
now, there's the teleport play coming in. Does get cancelled. Wants to refund that cooldown with Berserk picking
Yeah.
up an easy kill.
Teleport actually used by Iconic, although he wasn't even needed in that fight though, but is a good extra precaution, you know. Again, one step ahead. Great for UPD to think one step ahead. But
This is the scenario where Acedia should have been in top lane. Spawn the Rift Herald, make the members of UPD scramble just a bit, but this is not going to work out because it's already done. This is something that UP made a mistake. And I think that small mistake is going to cost them a lot.
yeah, again, like you mentioned, patience is key. Tapos, at the same time, I feel that in TUP's case, they feel so pressured to really get things going early on. So I feel like it's that type of mindset that preempted releasing Reparo so early that they weren't able to take into account the efficiency to its use.
So close, Charm did not connect. And the efficiency is there, Arctic, but I gotta say for TUP, they really missed that golden chance.
Exactly.
Sobrang sayang yung Rift Herald dun sa mid lane. If they had just saved it just a bit, this scenario in the bottom lane would have been completely different.
Exactly, and look at Acedia right now. He's actually
He's just-
pressuring other lanes. And if he had that Rip Herald, like you mentioned, Rip Herald empowered recall, it's such a huge missed opportunity. But will we see?
Okay, taking no one for a ride. Bam does bait out the flash from Neep. Instead of a charm, it was the orb. Now in the mid lane, Acedia. And Iconic just having a small date, but in the bottom lane, it will be a group day with 4 members of each team trying to push out this outer bot lane turret with a teleport advantage for TUP, whereas Iconic's teleport halfway down, pretty close in, but he does have to stand united.
Oh yeah. So again, there's so many things that TUP has to account for. Oh, man. I can't get over that Rip Herald because there were so many possibilities to it. Like I mentioned, the pressure and splits.
Would have been so advantageous on a champion and a player such as Acedia, but we gotta expect that TUP has something up their sleeve because the Infernal Drake will now be live in 21 seconds. UPD already making the precautions of warding and denying vision from TUP.
So nonetheless, regardless of that small fumble with the Rip Herald, the goal difference,
Yeah.
3,000 for TUP. So still, there is they actually still have space to work with. But then again, like I did mention, in order to conquer UPD, I feel like it has to be exponentially huge.
Let's hope they conquer it in the Dragon.
Oh man, we might actually see a dragon fight break
Let's
off.
see. Navi on the side with Chan in the front. Bam is there for the disengage. Here goes into the lead. The Dragon will be delayed by the Fate, but it'll be UPD getting the smite advantage. Acedia backs away, very low on health. Now it'll be a tidal wave, 40 engaged. Navi's on illusion. He gets a double kill. Chan's just taking a hit. Blizzard has no mana. Flash in Cocoon does not connect, but it will be Navi picking it up. Now Berserk is very low. There is the ball, but no shockwave available just yet. Iconic goes there for the taunt in onto Navi. Does not work out really well. It's going to be a double for Chan and possibly an ace for TUP. There's the taunt in onto Chan. Very low on health. Iconic gives that sweet triple.
Oh man, Sean actually
Navi was
quite
pretty
beneficial for him. And finally, an ace for TUP. And I would actually like to check out that replay later on because actually there was a very crucial mishap for UPD right here. So, and there it is actually. The Temperate Fate for me, it caused problems because the follow-up, the Stand United was already coming in from Iconic, but because the Tempered Fate actually timed with Iconic getting into that fight, he wasn't able to utilize that full taunt. So that being said, that was actually a huge missed opportunity for UPD, and it allowed TUP to just turn the tides exponentially huge. And again, it's a great footing for TUP to potentially get their first win, maybe, just maybe.
this. Did you see how Chan ate up that with the execution damage? That was just huge, and I think that's a really good cleanup tool.
That was that was actually already a great setup for UPD Liman. But because of that tempered fate, the follow through with the taunt, because Iconic could have gotten a lot of people with that taunt. So, man.
In a way, I'm gonna give you another foot reference here, Arctic. It's
Oh,
like this in
man.
the bottom lane. But hold that thought, Navi did not see Iconic's taunt. Tidal is coming in. A stun does connect onto Neep from the cocoon. Chan is now dominating. Iconic is very low, hugging that turret. Here comes Veer over the wall. Goes onto Chan, is very low. The red buff flow is in play. Navi though on the side. This is members of UPT sandwich, but Navi is isolated. Is an easy pickup for, let's say, giving it to Iconic so that he can catch up.
Oh man. Even though TUP has been performing, there's so many ways this could have been so much better for them. I'm not gonna go on about the referral, don't worry. But another thing that I've actually found problematic is that if you're gonna look at the tidal waves coming in from Misa N, there was actually a lot of misses. So
It was not used effectively, but it did tunnel the movements of UPT for Chan to land that cocoon stun. But in the end, what matters is how it turns out after the clash.
True.
How it started has no bearing on how it ended. Because sometimes we see teams who start a clash, they lose.
So there we go. Regardless, 6,000 gold lead. This is definitely something that UPD has to kind of start bearing on, because if TUP could keep up this proper momentum and kind of capitalize on some of the few miscommunications that UPD might have had as far as top lane being ult properly, then they might actually have a good game. But then again, for me, some of the mistakes that UPD has been making are somewhat minor, but going in onto later clashes, I feel like they have all the potential to correct them. So, that being said, TUP really wants to take advantage of this lead that they have right now. Because if they don't make something huge out of this, then it'll only grant UPD that space to get back into this game so easily. And we have seen that happen during the previous games.
And that space is being invaded by TUP in their own jungle. Right now we're seeing Acidia pushing out the lanes, pressuring the members of UPD. The Baron is alive, same as the Cloudrick will be up soon in 1 minute and 33 seconds. So I can expect that UPD will be stalling until then. But for TUP, they have to try and close this game as early as they can.
Yes.
Otherwise, that Orianna on Berserk is going to be a huge obstacle also for Blizzard.
Yeah, later on, it's even though Chan is having a ball on this release right now, 100% kill participation actually. So Chan clearly flexing some muscles for TUP. But like you mentioned, if they allow this to prolong a little bit more longer, the utility for UPD will
Oh
prevail.
my god, that's such a nice stab effect coming from UPD. There is the collapse. There is the punishment on the TUP for invading their own space. Now with 3 members down, this opens up for a Baron. One small mistake for TUP is UPD saving grace, but I don't think Bam is gonna let that happen. Neep is very low, gets ignited, and gets taken down. There's a flash in by Veer. Bam is very low. Stan United is onto him for the protection, and there is the blast on play. Slowed, but not enough damage.
Whoa. That was interesting actually, because if ever Iconic was able to properly get into position of that blasting cone where he would have actually propelled himself along with Veer, I feel like he might have actually been able to follow that up, chase them off, taunt into bomb. So that could have potentially been a kill, but still doesn't really deter UPD from the bigger picture that this allows them to get back into the game slowly.
This is bad news for TP. They have this wanderlust where they will always try and move around the map
Yeah.
unwarded. That is the prize.
And let's go ahead and check this out here. I really like how UPD really one step against TUP here. They see the opportunity of outnumbering members of TUP at this point because there are only 3 of them. And this actually shuts Chan down a bit.
Oh, flashes from Navi. Gets taken out by Berserk. Blizzard's very low. No mana. No movement. And there's the call from Iconic for the protection. Blizzard's left with free hit. Regaining some health. Here comes Spear with the Kha'Zix. Will not do much. Iconic sums up so much damage. It would be Bam getting the shutdown bounty. Making a double. Now Veer is going to be backing away, but still gets charmed. Very low. Might be a triple, but the Maw will save his life.
Oh man, Veer, the only surviving member of UPD Liman and TUP. Definitely, I could only imagine how they're feeling right now. If anything, a renewed resolve that maybe they could actually go for the reverse sweep. But then again, it's still too early to tell. But so far, so good for Technological University of the Philippines.
The Death Timers will be enough. UPD will be able to defend this TUP, but I don't think the inhibitor will survive.
Oh, wow. So yeah, 13 and 8 right now. But yeah, let's go ahead and check out that fight right here because a lot happened. So me actually walking in. So actually I really like that Iconic got the two-man taunt. It's just that I feel like the follow-up wasn't as solid because of the fact that Berserk was already down in this fight. And TUP, the numbers were definitely in their favor in this. So I like how, again, Iconic got a great taunt on. It's just that the follow-up wasn't able to be there because Berserk was out of
Berserk was not
Yeah.
there. Blizzard had not enough mana for traps and the repositioning of the Q. So the
Imagine how different that story would have been if Berserk was in that fight. A taunt follow up by a shockwave from Berserk. That would have been deadly actually for TUP. But again, the numbers advantage worked in TUP's favor. So again, it's these small build-ups that could potentially propel them to a win.
so now the gold advantage is on the TP for almost up to, let's say, 7,000 gold lead. Make that 8,000. So, but in the long run, can TUP close this game? If UPD gets this third stack of an Infernal, this is gonna spell very good news for Berserk, Veer, and also for Blizzard.
Yeah, because if you're going to look at it, I've been championing how TUP actually has some pretty good damage output. But that being said, a triple Infernal will actually put UPD up to par regardless of the fact that they're behind.
Baron is live, and TUP, they are sending up visions, guarding their Baron. Maybe the Baron, maybe the
Ooh,
Baron.
tempered fate though.
Oh, so there's the follow-up and the lockdown from Berserk with the shockwave only on to Chan. The jungler is not alive anymore. UPD has the smite advantage, but
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna risk it.
No, not at all. But if anything, it definitely gives some breathing space for UPD Diliman, knowing that with Sean down for that half a minute of death,
Oh, Lethal gets assassinated by Bam.
man. But yeah, as I was saying, it actually gives some breathing space for UPD Diliman that they know that TUP won't be able to take this Baron for about a good minute or two. And at the same time, it allows UPD that room to establish some level of defensive vision, especially around the Baron area.
The death timer for Chan is actually just 3 seconds, so he will be responding. Blizzard setting up those traps, but you can see the backside and the side, EZN and Navi is making their slow approach, whereas Berserk is going to be joining in. Veer, patiently waiting their brush, tends to scare away TUP.
Oh yeah. So TUP just trying to find the right moment. Go for this Baron, especially with Chan in the vicinity. Are they
there
gonna
it is.
risk it though?
Demon's played.
I mean, inhibitor is down. One inhibitor is down for UPD Diliman, so it definitely. This is where UPD's macro play will definitely be put to the test because there is a lot of things that they have to put into account. Number one, of course, the general lead that TUP has. Of course, number two, they don't want to give this Baron, but they also have to take into account the heavy minion wave pushing in towards mid. But ooh,
UPD knows that TUP is starting the Baron. TUP backs away. This is something that small mistakes, such as one member down, is huge when you're in the Baron pit.
yeah, and looking at how cautious TUP is, even though they have a pretty good gold lead, I mean, almost 7,000 to playing around 7,000 to 8,000 right now. That being said, there's still that level of respect that UPD has because they know for a fact that because of how smart UPD plays this game, the smallest mistake that TUP makes, especially around that Baron pit, which is very crucial, especially lalo if Veer gets the steal, would be monumentally huge, and UPD would capitalize on that to the T to get back. So very good on TUP to show the restraint, but at the same time, oh, Mise in.
Did not learn his lesson.
Nope, that was actually reminiscent of something that happened earlier.
That happened 3 times in the same spot.
Oh man, so yeah,
And he also used his flash. So Mise and with the illness of a Wanderlust does not want to give up, but it was actually also a mistake onto TUP's side. They should have joined their support when warding.
yeah, exactly. Or if anything, because that's more of a communication thing. Where but hold that shot here.
Veer, also same illness.
But yeah, talking about that scenario, I feel that it's more of a communication thing. That if Mise N wanted to go for Vision, he should have preempted having one of the members of TUP join him, because if that was something wherein he did himself without properly communicating
Okay.
it to TUP that, guys, I'm gonna be establishing some
Some
vision. Can
vision.
somebody accompany me? Then I definitely peg that on as a mistake by Misan overall.
Yeah, and the members of TUP, they all have sweeping lenses. Maybe someone should actually get a foresight, so that in the end, Mr. N will not be at risk of getting caught off guard and isolated at most of the time. So this time, we're going to be seeing UPD playing the old classic Caitlyn trap game.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're gonna look at the composition that TUP has, two of the members that they cannot afford losing early on when potentially going into 5v5s is, of course, number one Chan, because of the threat of Baron potentially could be taken by UPD, which could cause a little bit of a reverse that could shift the power back into their favor. And of course, Misa N as well, because this utility is so key for TUP at this point. If anything, having that tidal wave, the bubbles, even the heals to an extent could make or break the 5v5s.
Battle of the Lenses. And the 5v5s will be determined by how well they engage and clean up. For TUP, they have this front line for a city of Azarenacton, but he has the Guardian Angel, but in the end, when he does get taken down, members of TUP will just be running away from his corpse. So this leaves UPD just to clean up the job. So I hope for TUP side, they know what they're doing. Two-man tempered fade, the ball is in place but does not channel the shockwave as Cydia is zoning out the members of UPD. Neve cannot do much, Blizzard's very low, but Iconic will try and kill off Bam. He doesn't get down, leaving Cydia to finish off Blizzard. That'll be a double kill for the Cydia. Now TUP is on the base side of UPD. Double kill for Iconic, does not survive long enough with 3 members down for UPD.
Oh man, TUP, quite refreshing actually to finally see that they're actually showing signs of fight. They do not want to give up just yet. They still smell the chance of potentially winning the entire term. So let's go ahead and check out what happened here. So actually a good temperate fate. It's just that UPD couldn't really do that much to capitalize on it, and puts here in this awkward position wherein while the rest of UPD is actually scattering back, just kind of kiting Acedia here. Veer in exchange, he couldn't really exert maximum assassination. So I don't know, man. At this point, Iconic though really performing well on the Shen. It's just that because of the lead that TUP has right now, they're not really in a position to just really go full on head-to-head, even with the tripling for me.
So when a fight does break out after another one, I think TUP's let's see, I wouldn't call it room, more of a space for them to work with is getting smaller and smaller. They don't have that much allowance to work with, knowing that UPD does have the burst. So when you look at the health of a champion, you have to, it's kind of like their timer, how much they can fight, not their survivability. But I gotta say, for TUP, it's pretty dangerous.
Yeah, and that with all said and done, even though because UPD, I feel like they have the damage covered because of being able to acquire the Triple Inferno, so that actually boosts their damage exponentially well. But that being said, they have the damage output, but whether or not they could actually survive the onslaught of damage coming from TUP themselves, like I mentioned, there's a lot of damage all across the board from top to AD carry, and plus a good setup from Misa N to allow them to exert the max damage. So it's still, even though UPD has the utility to kind of counter that, because of the lead that TUP has right now, and Acedia 4-0 to Chan 6-2 and 6. Like across the board, the primary AD, the damage dealers for TUP are on point. Ooh, different fate though.
Looking at how the map is being played out, UPD does not have much world room to work with. If he gets stunned, it will be Chan finishing him off. And that's going to be 1 number down for UPD. No more game-changing mechanics there. There is the redemption and the inhibitor. Turret will be taken down. It's exposed. UPD can't seem to find a place to go in, but Acedia will be charging in. There is the tidal wave missing yet again. Here comes Iconic with the Stand United. Veer looking to kill off Chan, but backs away. Now 2 inhibitors are down for UPD.
Wow, 18 and 12. Gold lead. I mean, what's interesting here is that it still continues to play around the 6,000 to 8,000 gold lead. So it may seem there's still that struggle for UPD, but they're actually doing a great job making sure that it doesn't really skyrocket to oblivion for them. Still, they have so many opportunities to get back into this game. And look at this. Technically, if TUP had the result to take this Baron, and I feel like this game would have actually finished a little bit earlier. But then, because of the respect that knowing UPD has all the tools to get back into this game, they're really exhibiting the restraint that, surprisingly, technically, they didn't really have as much during the earlier games.
33 minutes, 34. What a long game it is, Arctic.
I mean, longer than I anticipated.
The exhaustion from the players of the best of 5 series will really test their patience and endurance. But for this game 3, possibly the last game for TUP.
And you know what's interesting here? You were talking about the endurance going into these best of 5s. If you're gonna base it on what happened during the semifinals, TUP actually looks like the team that kind of gets worn out from these best of 5s because they started off strong 2-0 and then suddenly going up against UC. Oh, we might see a fight though.
3 members setting up for a shockwave, does not connect. A flash was used. Chan repels away. Bam goes in for knee. Fear goes off the wall. Bam gets executed, but it's really Navi taking down Blizzard. Very low on health. Iconic is there for the teleport play. Here goes in, but he gets stunned. And another burst coming in from Acidia. He's there to solo the members of UPD. That will be a shutdown. 4 members are taken down. Iconic is left alone, and Acidia will make the teleport play. Gonna clean up this mess that TUP started.
Oh man, this is potentially going to be the game. Heavy death timers for UPD, and I don't think Iconic could single-handedly, as a tanky Shen, defend this base. Wow, wow, wow. Just when we thought we might be seeing a clean sweep. Ladies and gentlemen, for their first win in the grand finals of the 2017 Lenovo Local Collegiate League, congratulations, Technological University of the Philippines.
Dragging UPD towards the grueling Game 4. Congratulations for TUP for stepping up. And now we're going to be moving on to Game 4 of the Best of 5 series. The score right now stands at, I gotta say, 2-1, right?
Yeah.
So this is going to be TUP's, again, last game. So, the pressure's still there in a sense.
Definitely, but if anything, I think it gives them a bit more of a resolve that there is hope. It's just that at the same time, you gotta think of what UPD's mindset is right now. You know, they've been kind of deterred from getting that clean 3-0, so it goes both ways, wherein they could be frustrated, that could throw them out, or at the same time, it could also be that frustration that pushes them all the more harder to win games. So
Alright,
look
on
at
to the stats.
Man, Acidia. We actually haven't been able to pay as much note to Acidia earlier because he was playing it pretty low-key during the earlier phases. But if you're going to look at the CS, there was actually a lot of power farming going on for him because of getting that, again, that first turret, and then he was kind of left in a lot of moments where he's able to free farm and split push in other lanes. So it definitely manifested going into the later parts of the game. And look at the damage though across the board for everybody.
Everyone is actually dealing a lot of damage.
And
But what came into play for UPD was the pickups. They were really good with the Tempered Fate, but when Neek was taken down, the inhibitor was gone. So that just removed their ability to really stall the team fight.
And what's interesting here is that if you're gonna recall, during the early phases of the game for TUP, it was actually Chan that was spearheading the team. But looking at the damage towards the end, he's actually the fourth to the lowest. So it actually goes to show that it's almost a team collaboration where somebody has to take the reins in the earlier game, allowing the members of TUP that technically shine later on during the game to do so. So I hope this is a continuing trend for TUP. But then again, of course, UPD, they are a very strong team. Both are strong. I mean, they made it to the grand finals for the reason. We'll just have to see what will happen as we head into game 4 later.
So guys, there you have it. That concludes Game 3 with TUP stepping up their game, bringing UPD onto the Game 4. We have been your shoutcasters. I am Vulcan, and joining with me is Arctic. You just watched the Lenovo LCL 2017 Spring Term Challenge. What you know. See you after a short break for Game 4. The 2 members of TUP, UPD looking for collapse, does miss the shot with Iconic goes in for a flash pot. Connects while Veer secures the kill. Bam is there for the Vision Cage. Here goes into the lead. The Dragon will be delayed by the Fate, but it'll be UPD getting the smite advantage. Acidia backs away, very low on health. Now it'll be a tidal wave, 40 engage. Navi's an illusion, he gets a double kill. Chance just taking a hit, Blizzard has no mana, flash into Cocoon, does not connect, but it will be Navi picking it up. Now first Zerk is very low. There is the ball, but no shockwave available just yet. Iconic goes there for the taunt in onto Navi. Does not work out really well. It's going to be a double for Chan and possibly an ace for TUP. There's the taunt in onto Chan, very low on health. Iconic gives that sleep. Oh my god, that's such a nice temper fake coming from UPD. There is the collapse. There is the punishment on the TUP for invading. Oh, it's taken up by Berserk. Blizzard's very low, no mana, no movement, and there's the call from Iconic for the protection. Blizzard's left to free and regain some health. Here comes Spear with the Kha'Zix, will not do much. Iconic soaks up so much damage. It would be BAM! Getting the shutdown bounty, making a double. Now Veers is going to be backing away, but still gets charmed. Very low, might be a triple, but the Maw will save his life.
Oh man, Veer, the only surviving member of
Her favorite ball is in place, but does not channel the shockwave. Acidia is zoning out the members of UPD. Neep cannot do much. Blizzard's very low, but Iconic will try and kill off BAM. He doesn't kill down, leaving Acidia to finish off Blizzard. That will be a double kill for the Acidia. Now TUP is on the base side of UPD. Double kill for Iconic. Does not survive long enough with 3 members.
Oh, we might see a fight though.
3 members setting up for a shockwave. Does not connect. A flash was used. Shan repels away. BAM goes in for Neep. Fear goes off the wall. BAM gets executed, but it's pretty badly taking down Blizzard. Very low on health. Iconic is there for the teleport play. Here goes in, but he gets stunned. And another burst coming in from Acidia. He's there to solo the members of UPD. That will be a shutdown. 4 members are taken down. Iconic is left alone. And Acidia will make the teleport play. Gonna clean up this message that
Thank you,
TUP
Shen. Defends this base. Wow, wow, wow. Just when we thought we might be seeing a clean sweep. Ladies and gentlemen, for their first win in the grand finals of the 2017 Lenovo Local League, congratulations, Technological University of the Philippines.
dragging UPD towards the
Not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.
Good evening, everyone, and we welcome you back to the Lenovo LCL 2017 Spring Term Challenge. What you know, Atlas, and now we are entering the Game 4 where TUP managed to get one victory against UPD of the best of 5 series.
Of course, that actually proves that, yeah, TOP can still take down these Titans and that UPD can actually still bleed. And after that,
Do you
it really,
bleed?
yeah, do you bleed? It really cements how, like, UPD, if they put Iconic on a tank, it's really such a big setback for them.
So, yeah, in
When-
the end,
'cause, yeah,
UPD's kryptonite is Iconic being on a tank then.
yeah, but
That's how they bleed.
Yeah, that's how they bleed. Is that when they draft Iconic into a Shen or any a tank or like a Sejuani, it really they fall flat on their faces.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm sure they had a really good reason for drafting the Sejuani. Like they had a composition, a PGS composition where you had 4 melee champions, which you combined with a Permafrost, but it didn't really work out for them because the top lane wasn't dealing damage. And this time, Shen wasn't dealing enough damage to actually be this. And the defensive side of the Shen didn't really pull through for UPD there.
But I gotta hand it to the Shen
Yeah.
where he made the flash and taunts.
Yes.
That was somehow game changing, but in the long run, it's how you wrap
Yes.
up that fight that matters.
Yeah.
Now, this is it. Game 4 of the best of 5 series, the grand finals of the LCL. One spot for LICC, Malaysia and China, for both of these teams on the line. Who will represent the
A
Philippines?
really big opportunity that both of these teams do not want to miss.
A big name.
Like a big name, you get the title of being the champion from spring term. You get to experience like the culture of Malaysia and China, the food, but more importantly, being there for the esports. Like the international stage, just even if it's just a collegiate level, is super important for the entire scene. So I'm really looking forward to how TUP can continue their momentum and how UP can recover from that debilitating loss from last game.
But I think for game 4, no more.
There's
That's
no
not-
holds barred at this
Not,
point.
not the spark. It's the fact that they're using a composition that did not work, and they used it again. Now it not work again for the second time. That's how they lost their first
It
game.
has to be cemented into their minds now that, okay, let's not put Iconic on a tank like this. Even though they had a lot of good plays in the end, the damage that comes from Iconic's carried champions is really something big that they have to put into consideration. And I think that's really like the biggest problem they had in their loss against JBL, their loss against TUP just now, because everyone knows that they have very good execution, but the thing is, since they weren't able to pull that off, it really says something about the picks that they can do, and I really have to give it to TUP as well, taking advantage of that.
I wonder if TUP picked it up though in game 3, where they have this sort of strategy. If ever a top tank role is forced onto Iconic in a sense that really lowers the damage output of UPD, maybe this is UPD's Achilles heel. Maybe this
Yeah.
is the chance for TUP to make it to game 5.
That's the weak spot in UPD's Death Star. We're
I
gonna
was
see.
talking about Greek, but you talk about Star Wars. My God,
Come on.
Atlas. Just like joke, like pun.
It's gonna be the Fiora band. Still respecting Iconic on that Fiora.
Mm.
Definitely very scary.
Respect band.
We're gonna see how UPD plays this out in the rest of the ban phase.
I have gotta hand it to TUP. They know
Yeah.
who to ban against.
They definitely did their
UPD.
research.
Doing their research, and also, I don't think it's just about research. It's also about execution.
Yeah,
So let's say we ban a Fiora. What's left in UPD's kit that we can deny? Who should we deny in the rest of their roster? Of course, the Fiora, powerful split pusher, and also when it comes to late game,
scary.
huge
Yeah.
threat.
Huge damage threat, can just shred down anyone. Even tanks are not safe from Fiora. So banning this out consistently throughout the entire best of 5 series is good on TOP. As for UPD, they're really banning out these just general useful meta champions. Like the Lulu is so good, especially since our red side, they are more incentivized to ban out the Lulu. So that TUP cannot prioritize pick it. As for TUP, still sticking to their guns, because putting Neep on Rakan would be a huge mistake. The Zac ban against Veer will definitely, because I haven't seen Veer really pull out the Zac, but considering like their practice schedule, how they play the game, it won't be impossible that Veer did not pick up the Zac in this downtime. As for UPD banning out the bombs, Vladimir, as well as the Renekton from last game, Cedia.
I gotta say that Renekton in the last game really pushed Iconic under his turret.
Yeah.
And when you're facing against a powerful split pusher such as Renekton with a Tiamat, you know you're gonna have a bad time.
Especially, he was on that Shen, so naturally he would be pushed in, even if he had his Tiamat of his own, as well as the Bomby Cinder. The wave clear that can come from the Calm the Meek is just so good, and the sustain as well definitely puts Iconic in a super pressured spot. TOP priority picking bombs Ari. They really know what champions their teammates are comfortable at, so I'm really excited to see how this plays out. And that Blizzard
This is going to be interesting.
on that Zaya now.
Yeah. Bams already made it through. So I gotta see.
Because they had to ban out the Vladimir, and the Renekton was too scary to keep in. And that's gonna be
Yeah.
UPD.
This is game 4, guys.
Yeah.
All out. Let's
Everyone's
see.
all out here. TOP with the comfort picks as well. And UPD now with a Zaya. Pulling out the Zaya for game 4.
Oh, Berserk
Victor
on
on
the
for
This
Victor's
is it,
Berserk.
guys.
This is
No
it.
more restrictions.
Yeah.
All out. This is
Going all out. It is a worry though that Victor could be outplayed by the Ari. But if this is a comfort pick, a pocket pick,
yeah.
then it seems he's playing the cleanse as well, so he's really confident in this matchup. Veer on that Lee Sin, signature champions going out in this game 4 of this best of 5.
Now on to the second banning phase of most probably the last game, or maybe TUP this time.
This
has
has become the
something.
2-2. The momentum will go on TOP's side so hard. And that's going to be scary for UPD.
This is UPD's one step closer to their dreams, the goal they set when entering the spring term of the LCL. If this gets denied by a reverse sweep, that's just crushing. Kind of reminds me of the moment of IPP and Mineski representing the Philippines in the past split for the
Just
GPL.
Crush them, crush their hopes and dreams. Here comes the UPD bans for the second rotation. Varus and Caitlyn against Navi taken out in TOP, giving out more respect bans against Neef. That's going to be the bar taken out from last game. We'll see what their last ban will be. Another support ban against Neef. The respect for the laning of Neef is definitely there, as well as the playmaking that he has.
Alright, I'm going to give you a reference here, Atlas. Right now in the bottom lane duo of UPD, somehow Neep is the game changer, right? So in a sense, we have these two bottom lane duo. Navi and Misa N, they're like, I gotta say, Puto and Dinuguan. They go well so together, but even if you leave that Puto behind and that Dinuguan goes somewhere else, it still tastes good. But for UPD side, I think Blizzard is like the bibingkan. Big, hot, but it's a bit not the same as Puto. So what goes well with bibingkan? Bibingka? Bibingka. What goes well with bibingka?
Salted egg.
Salted egg.
Yeah.
Nothing goes well with bibingka. So this is the problem that UPD is facing, where Neep's whole support pool that's very efficient is being denied.
And since it's denied, having to go on the Blitzcrank, another playmaker, but the thing is with Bard, with Thresh,
it's not the same.
yeah, it's not the same. It's like so
Right now,
weird.
you're going to be pairing Bibinka with maybe Tapsilog right now. You don't eat it at the same time. So something that UPDs right now, they're forced. They are forced. They are forced to go this path where they have to be sort of uncomfortable right now.
Yeah, because the Blitzcrank, I know Neep can't pull out the you made my head hurt. But I know Neep can't pull out the Blitzcrank. But the thing is, it's not the same as Bard and Thresh. Bard and Thresh, they can play from behind. Rakan as well, definitely good at the
not the
comebacks. But the Blitzcrank, if you're behind, if you're so behind and you like pull someone, like a frontliner,
Sometimes it's a death sentence to yourself.
Sometimes it's a death sentence to yourself, indeed. But looking at the rest of the composition here, very solid looking. The Kennen top lane, definitely a split push threat. But Acedia's response to that is the Fizz.
Yeah, look at that. Finally, we'll be seeing the teleporting knight Fizz top of Acedia against Iconic's Cannon. This time he won't be on the Jace.
Yeah.
Normally he would pick up the Jace. When
It's going to be very hard here for this matchup. Either way, Acedia might get harassed a lot in the laning, but when he does go all in with that Ignite, it's going to be scary. Look at all of these interesting pocket picks for all of our players, and this might be the last game or the setup for the reverse sweep. So we'll be seeing how all of that plays out once we actually load into the Rift.
Hindi namin expected na mananalo kami sa Game 3 and surprisingly, nanalo kami. And ang drive namin para manalo, para mag-champion, yung pumunta kami ng Malaysia at ma-represent yung Philippines. Sa tingin ko, yung weakness ng UPD, yung matilt yung bot, si Blizzard. And as you can see in third game, yun, nagawa namin. Sana ma-reverse sweep namin. TUP win.
Things are getting spicy in the Rift, entering Game 4 of the Grand Finals of the LCL. TUP versus UPD. Will this be the last game, or will TUP drag UPD until Game 5 with exhaustion?
With UPD being pushed here to their limits from last game, they still have another chance. They are still at match point. So if UPD gets a really good lead here with the Blitzcrank, with the rest of their picks, the Lee Sin especially, they'll have a good momentum. But if TUP takes this out from 0 to 1 to 2, matching it to 2-2, then Sick Parvis Magna will really mean something. Great things come from small beginnings, and the reverse sweep is definitely something that's possible here for TUP.
It is still alive for TUP. They are bringing all their guns to a knife fight, where UPD is still... I haven't seen an Iconic on a cannon, so this is going to be
This is going to be a new thing for me to see him on this cannon, at least in the interconference semis and finals.
And I wonder how Blizzard will do with that Saya from that recent changes. Now Neep on the Blitzcrank, so how will it play
It's
out?
going to be very aggressive here. Of course, he's bringing out the exhaust instead of the ignite, so the exhaust will definitely help them out when they actually get into these extended fights against Navi. But the change to the Q of Zaya, the daggers, it does hurt her early game quite a bit, because you queuing up an extra feather, actually that instantly sets up the Blade Caller route.
Oh,
But without that, it's gonna be harder to pull that off in lane.
what a beautiful leash.
Yeah, very strong leash, even pushing past the Raptors and into the red buff. Of course, this does leave Navi alone, which is quite dangerous against a Blitzcrank, but he's really holding his ground here.
It's going to be Wits End for UPD. On the mid lane, Berserk did eat up a lot of damage, and now Bam is running the Ignite, so he does have to kill pressure compared to Berserk. But you have to be careful with that Victor.
He can roam around with that Ghost,
And I think
and he has a lot of mobility as well.
also for Chan, he did get a beautiful leash.
That was such a great lead. Ending that very, very healthily. And I think he's going for a full clear of his jungle here. Going for the level 3 once he gets to his blue buff. And very efficient clear. Seems like both of these junglers really want to go for really fast clears. For Chan, is the full clear.
Oh, Blizzard catches Aqua Prison. This is the problem where there's not a protection coming from that support.
Like the
the
thresh
bar,
is
the
so big.
thresh,
Yeah,
the
everything.
Rakan.
And now Neep's there's a lot more pressure on Neep now to pull off a really good hook. Because if this bot lane gets behind, the comeback is much harder for a Blitzcrank.
There's nothing that can pair that Bibinka properly for UPD. So I hope for UPD, this is a game that, come on, if they lose right now, this will be on the Wits End. And Blizzard,
Oh, Blizzard.
forced out of his heal. Navi does not have his flash. Neep though there, Veer is also there. Chan has no mana. Miss it and does not want to face check.
Oh, they do not get the good hook, but here comes Fear.
Veer backs away.
Still though, that was a very
Pretty close
unfortunate
call.
hook for Neep, because
The minion.
the cooldown is actually very long in terms of the laning when you want to go for a hook. You don't have any second chances compared to, say, a death sentence. If it hits onto a minion, the
can still
cooldown
come
actually gets
back.
refunded a bit. So you can still try in the next few seconds. But
So
with the hook and the Blitzcrank, it's definitely too hard.
It's that mechanic where you have to go big, go home, where you don't land a skill shot, you can make up for it. You're in a bad spot. And if a clash does happen, Assyria can just walk through the hook, make it, it's like a free delivery service.
Because as soon as he gets pulled, he can just instantly Playful Fixer Abaca. It's iconic. Actually trading very well against Assyria with that Doran's shield, helping him out.
And for Assyria, he is running the Corrupting Potion, so
So the trades should go in Assyria's favor, but Iconic definitely playing that lane very, very safely.
gets it and gets the first hook of the game, and the first blood is onto Veer.
It's going to extend his time as a powerful Lee Sin that 400 gold start, head start, will actually help him out in these other ganks that he will have. Once he recalls, gets an item, his clear will be faster, his ganks will be deadlier. So the Caulfield's Warhammer, so that means he's definitely going for more ganks. Ganks all the way for Veer in the early game, and it's really understandable because he will transition into a tank later in the game, right? And he needs to snowball Iconic for Zerg and Blizzard. He can leave the damage to those three guys. He needs to be the one to support his team with the utility that Lee Sin can bring.
And that first blood for Veer will help him do that. But in terms of dueling side, Blizzard does get the upper hand in trading up damage.
Oh
But
man,
in
it's
the
gonna
top
be a top
lane,
lane fight.
Shan gets stunned by Iconic. That would be an isolated kill, with giving Iconic a lead in gold.
The restraint coming from these guys, Veer and Neep, actually give the kill off to Iconic, which is gonna be huge. And his lead against Acedia. Acedia did not die in that fight, which is good for him, meaning that he will not lose too much in terms of the laning. He can still get back, and his machine will definitely help him out. Once Iconic recalls, he will match the itemization. But seems like Acedia has the initiative with the itemization, so that means Iconic cannot recall just yet.
That's just scary what happened, but here is the replay.
Oh, actually, Navi got the kill there. We didn't notice. And really, I think it's the nerf on the Q actually hurt him quite a bit. Because, as I said, it locks away the immediate root from the Blade Caller, which when you're up against Lucian, that immediate root is something very, very important. Because it's a very mobile AD carry, and you have to match that.
And matching that requires you to stack it fast enough.
Plus, Navi is on a fervor battle. Blizzard is on a Warlord's Bloodlust, so the damage early game definitely Navi's side, even if he was behind in itemization at that point.
And also, we are seeing that Neep is now roaming more proactively. You know what happened in the bot lane? He is not staying there anymore. Look at him. He's now going all over the lanes, just leaving behind Blizzard.
They are going to go into a ward here, so Bomb definitely knows what's up. So does Chan. They are spotted out completely by the Scrying Orb. Iconic having to burn his ultimate here.
Acedia too, but in terms of damage and kill pressure, Acedia has an Ignite.
The stun!
Oh, the stun is enough, but I don't think that
Ignite.
will cut it out. Iconic will be taken down by Acedia thanks to the Ignite and the Corrupting Potion.
Yeah, the kill pressure of the Ignite is so huge. The DOT of the Seastone Trident as well definitely helped him. There's so much DOT on Acedia in lane, and that's what really pushed Iconic into that death, even under turret.
And he has the blue buff now.
Wow, that's going to be so good for this Fizz. Veer preventing the wave from slamming into the turret.
Acedia making the plays with the Undying.
the
Wow,
damage!
the damage. That's what happened.
That was dirty.
Just plain dirty tactics from Acedia on that Fizz.
He's going to force Veer to back off,
The
ruining
first-
his pathing.
The first blood does not matter anymore. You cannot match the damage from that Shi and the damage over time.
Really so scary. If Acedia, since Acedia got that one kill, it matches his score to Iconic's, meaning that this lane is still very, very even. Man, so intense. And the thing is, it's not a bloodbath just yet. Both of these teams are playing still a little bit methodically. They do not want to get into any fights that are too risky. And there, because Iconic had a chance to actually win that fight.
Yes.
But it was calculated. But the calculation in the end actually did not fall into his favor.
Pretty close call, and gotta stop those really risky moves from UPD. I know that Veer is this guy who really wants to help his teammate Snowball, but in the end, when he
Are you
tries,
going for another one in the top lane?
yeah, that's what we're seeing right now. If he does keep pressuring the lanes, this is actually going to be bad news in the sense that TUP will catch on what they're doing, and in the end, they will waste some time. Veer dodges the charm. Bam will just step away from that fight.
He doesn't have any potions. He does have the passive for the sustain.
And
So
he, has
will be
the-
able to stay in lane here.
Yeah, Orb of Deception and that mana sustaining item will be enough for Bam to stay in lane. And now Neep, again, roaming around the map.
Still under a ward though. So is Veer. I love the vision from TOP. Since they know UPD is rotating very aggressively, they're putting wards even in their own base, so that own territory rather, so that they know where Veer is and where Neep is roaming, which
Yeah.
means that they can really make these plays a lot more safely.
And what happens when they do that? Navi is free to CS with pure bliss, no worries whatsoever. If Blizzard tries to even do something funny, Navi will still have more damage compared to Azaya.
Oh,
Now
this might be a 3v2 though.
Oh, did not see that coming. Green members were waiting for you, and he just fell for that bait.
and they do not have wards outside of their territory. So they kind of got comfortable that we have vision around our own base, around our own jungle. We can go for this. And that was a rotation. Even if Chan did not get caught, that was still a 3v2 in the making.
And I think Chan has to program his brain right now to always check and not really gank.
He could have actually checked that with... Actually, no. He was actually max range hook.
And looking at the bot lane, you see that Leap was not there, so that would be a signal in. Flash and hook connects onto Navi, and there is the Feather Storm and the Dragon's Rage combo. Navi flash and heals away, but will be taken down by Blizzard.
Veer kicked Navi out of the Feather Storm. The Blade Caller follow up to the Feather Storm. That's actually funny. But yeah, that's still very well played. Roam from Neep, or rather gank from Veer just after getting that catch on a mid lane means that they are free. And even though Navi burnt his escapes there, he still got hooked because of the angle that Neep hooked. The rocket grab definitely in his favor there.
Go big, go home for that Blitzcrank, and that's the pressure Neep has when he has the flash, and Navi cannot be too comfortable saying that, hey, I have my E, I can dodge it.
Yeah, but in the end, Neep really angled it in that way where where predicted that Navi would dash backward. Because he wants as much distance as possible from Veer. And because of the angle that it went, Neep knew to hook that way. Still though, still anyone's game. They are around 1.5k ahead, but UPD still needs to watch out.
And we can see that from the itemization, Iconic will be rushing that Frozen Mallet.
Definitely wants the survivability of the HP. Plus, the slow will be more helpful against Acedia, even though he is already slippery. Building the Blade of the Ruined King first against him would definitely be a death sentence to Iconic.
Needs more health and sustain. And also the ability to kite Acedia. When he goes all in and he does not have the Playful Trickster, he does not have any more.
Neep's still looking for
abilities.
something. Navi has to know that Neep's around this
come
point.
on.
Wow.
Falls for the bait, gets silenced and knocks up. There's the combo. Navi gets exhausted and he does get away from the feathers, but Blizzard flashes into the calling. So that would be more of a favorable trade-off for TUP in a sense.
Very, very close for Navi there, but it was actually Blizzard who burned both of his summer spells there. So actually, I think that was in TUP's favor, even though they were forced to back off. I think the Blade Caller, I think the one dagger, the one feather that the Q change removed could actually have been impactful there. Because that means that the Blade Caller was a little bit late. For Zerk's going with a Ghost though, probably just to get the turret.
I don't think that was a ghost, that was more of a Cloud Drake.
Oh yeah, the Cloud Drake actually. Will be taking that. So while they're pressuring the bot lane, Veer is making a move onto this Rift Herald. It has to rotate away because of Chan.
The first turret
Very,
is...
very scary. Ooh. Jukes away from the body slam.
But the fact that the first turret is being contested right now from the mid to the bot, I gotta hand it to UPD. They will take the first turret out of the game and probably transition to the Infernal, but a bit too risky.
Yeah, the Infernal is quite a ways away. UPD gonna rotate to the mid lane here. I like how smooth their rotations are. Neep already going for something. Oh, the fake out!
The fake out from Neep secures the killing spree for Veer. Teleport coming in. That's Acedia. Just there. Well, Iconic actually canceled his teleport.
And both of these top laners actually do cancel their
Oh, wow,
Acedia's
Chad.
around.
The fake out.
Yeah, man. The position, the way that Neep was facing, definitely, okay, he's gonna go for bomb. But then, goes to the side, hooks to the side. Sean gets hooked, gets taken down.
Gets baited by the angle.
Still, though, there is still only one kill. It is on Veer. While kills on Veer are good, it would have been best if it went for Zerk or to Blizzard. Because these are the guys that are going to scale hard compared to Veer, who will fall off. But, so, the earlier the lead, oh man, might be scary.
Just contesting the Raptor.
He did get a few of the small ones, so I guess that's hashtag worth, but would have been very risky if Bomb was aggressive enough to go for a charm.
So far, UPD is looking pretty good with a score of 2-5, and Veer is steadily increasing in value and damage.
They have to shut him down very soon, and whoever on TUP shuts down Veer will have a very big gold boost. Whether it's Navi, Bomb, or Acedia, any one of these champions, if they get Veer, if they shut down Veer, UPD has to be scared of that champion because they return gold. Oh, Neep still going for more.
Goes all in on the Blizzard. Bets it all on his champion, and that would be a trade-off, maybe?
Seastone
Oh!
Trident, not enough.
That's a close call for Acedia. He did gamble on that and failed. And
The
lost that.
potion saves Blizzard's life there, and this actually puts him in a position to get top lane turret. There is Misi N around,
Oh, the
but
jungle,
he's alone.
the jungle Gragas is being punished heavily. 0-3-0 cannot even contribute at all.
Of course, Gragas is still very low econ, and how even though he gets really behind, not having gold does not stop the knockback from the explosive cast, does not stop the knockup from the body slam. The thing is, he won't be as effective as a frontliner, and that's going to be scary considering UPD's composition here has so much damage. Even Veer, who will transition into a tank role, still deals respectable damage at this point of the game. It's going to be very scary. Navi trying to go for the lane swap here to really have an advantage there in the top lane, but Blizzard does match it. That Neat just all over the map with the Moby boots. Definitely. And 006, 100% kill participation.
He is
Impressive.
Because of Neat, this is how UPD is having a good start. Those hooks and baits just work out really well.
And I think just because we haven't seen the Neat Blitzcrank doesn't mean he's uncomfortable on it.
So in
He's showing proficiency.
proficiency and his mechanics on that.
Yeah, that fake out from earlier was really dirty. I felt that from the caster desk.
Oh, you should go take a shower.
Yeah, I need a shower after. I need Misi Ann to shower me with the ebb and flow after that. Seems Veer is gonna go for the Infernal Drake. They have the position to go for it, but
I don't
seems
think
like
they have enough time to respond to this one.
yeah, definitely not. Blizzard isn't there in the top lane along with Navi and Misi Ann, which means that yeah, UPD had a numbers advantage that time.
Oh, here comes Steve from the back line.
Downtown.
Flash in and silence out. Blizzard's very low though. Navi gets exhausted. The big caller will be enough for Blizzard to get the upper hand, and that is a double for Blizzard.
Double kill for Blizzard. 3-1 and 2 puts him on the map. And he's going to make his itemization much faster. And Neat from downtown rushing to the top lane. Gets his 80 carat double kill and still at 100% kill participation.
The boots of mobility. at
Really
work.
helping him out. And I think if you do the math, he's much faster than a lot of other supports can go because he has an almost zero downtime speed boost. It does slow him down a little bit at the end, but when you do the math, he does cover more distance in the time that he is slowed down.
The draft from TUP, I gotta say, for the fist up, I understand it, but the Gragas jungle, I felt that was not a good combo, or it was more of picked up for
It's
no
like
reason.
they wanted a tank, and they went for
it was
Gragas
picked for no good
randomly.
reason, in a sense.
I think when Zac was also banned out, so they couldn't go for it. I think in this composition, I think they could have afforded to go for another Rek'Sai. Because the early game pressure from Rek'Sai is definitely there. And though he is more more gold dependent than the Gragas, the value that she can bring in terms of damage, you saw how much damage that Chan's Rek'Sai could do compared to how Chan is doing here. Oh my god.
Mr. Ed with the same sickness he had from the early game. Flashed away from the hook, but Blizzard is there to catch the fish out, man. That was actually a good flash for Mr. Ed.
Yeah, even if he flashed, that was still Blizzard there to
Wow.
catch. The bird catches her prey. That fish is for dinner. Now it's going to be Veer. I think after this, they might burn the Rift Herald. Teleport is up for both of these top laners down their bot, but this could be still dangerous. Here comes the squad.
TUP is really just following UPD. They're more of a shadow to them.
And
in a
they're
sense.
reacting. This is
They're
the
just
same reactive
reacting.
playstyle.
But they're not really the ones to contribute. Maybe they're just stalling. They're waiting for Navi to catch up.
And because of the pressure top lane that pulled the reaction coming from TUP, look at Iconic really doing his thing down there in the bot lane, split push. And that's what I said. The cannon top is a huge split push threat, and it's really making TOP dance on their tiptoes right now. And look at that. After getting a huge wave top lane, they go for the mid
Rift
lane.
Herald.
That's
there it
where-
is. The
Because they
timing.
pulled UPD, UPD pulled TOP away from key spots, and now they summoned the Rift Herald. And look at that, 4-man push onto this mid lane.
Oh boy, aiming to really end the game as fast as they can. But
Oh,
there
but
is a
Blizzard.
knockup. Blizzard though has the Feather Storm, but the collapse will just be enough for Cydia to pick up that shutdown bounty.
Wow, that actually shuts down every chance of UPD getting a full siege. They do get one turret, but the team fight that could have followed, not in their favor because Blizzard got caught there by a lot of CC. The biggest thing there was the Chum the Waters. The Feather Storm did not last long enough for Chum the Waters to block out the damage of Chum the Waters. And that means he instantly dies after ulting. Still though, they are still quite far ahead. 7,000 gold. Most of it concentrated on Veer and Blizzard means that they are still a mid-game damage threat.
And do not disregard BAM on that Irie.
That's true.
Gotta wait it up, but
0-0-0.
But for
0%
Berserk,
kill trust.
but Berserk has more CS
Yeah.
and has more gold thanks to the assists.
It's so scary for Bomb. He has the kill pressure, he has the mobility, but if he's not ahead and not snowballing, he's gonna work harder. He's gonna have to work harder to get these kills. But since Neep is around, and once Neep actually goes onto someone with his ultimate, silences them. So Bomb cannot Spirit Rush out. So that's the fear that Bomb has, that he cannot go too deep into UPD's lines, or else he'll get silenced and then he has no more escape, so he gets hooked and knocked up, and the rest of UPD can take him out. That is the biggest fear of Bomb going in for the assassination.
More of reactive playstyles coming from TUP. Also for UPD are the initiators, the instigators of the fight, but this will not last long enough for TUP unless they at least dictate or step up the flashes.
And because it's actually being forced into a reactionary.
Neep.
Neep.
Oh, so manages to hook that fish. Berserk eats him up for dinner. Bam! Spirit rushes away.
They might transition this into more for the top
Baron
lane.
maybe.
The Baron might be too risky. Seems like they're just going for controlling the vision top side and then pushing the top lane.
Look
Because they
at
have a lot of vision there in the top side jungle.
look at Neep. 0-0-10.
Still 100% kill participation. He is on fire this game. And it's just being such a huge playmaker for UPD, and he's the biggest reason right now why they are 7,000 gold ahead. Oh, look at that. Oh, okay, never mind. That would have been really nice if he got to kill Blizzard once again.
There it is, the combo from the explosive cast. Veer is in deep. There's the third hit. Teleport's coming in. It will be cancelled, however,
Blizzard.
by Acidia.
Wait, why didn't he flash the Chum the Water?
Yeah, I did not see that coming. And now,
Damn
a
it.
burst of damage coming from Berserk. Veer and Blizzard are very low, while Iconic is there to just zone them out.
The flash hook from Neep did not connect, but in the end, Misian still gets taken down, and everyone a lot of people in UPD got so low, but not enough for TOP to finish them off. The funniest thing from that actually is that Blizzard panic flashed the Chum the Water. He might have been expecting Acedia to go in on him, but in the end, that was a wasted flash. He still has the heal now, so he has a lot more survivability for the next team fight. Here comes in Ground Break for UPD, uncontested, definitely. Sean does not have any tools to go there. Seems like they're just shoving in this mid lane wave to compensate for that. It's gonna be scary. Cloud Drake and Infernal Drake makes for very aggressive UPD rotations and being able to take out key targets.
And 2 Infernal Drakes. So
Yeah.
this time it'll be TOP returning the favor to Neep. He
Survives.
does survive thanks to the mana shield, and now no more resources left. Misa and is forced to use the tidal wave. Now Neep is very low. Chan picks up the kill, but at what price?
Double kill for Berserk, 1 for 2.
Yeah.
And one of the carries at that
Oh, Veer gets charmed, but
cannot follow that up.
Oh, but the charm of the water.
Does not connect. And look at that, UPD really seeking this out. And even after that, Neep still has 100% kill participation. Look at the aggressiveness.
Oh,
though.
Acidia gets stunned, locked by UPD, and now Misa N just feeding the members of UPD.
Sushi dinner for
0-16.
UPD tonight. And this actually cost TUP
Huge
an inhibitor.
Huge death damage for Acidia and Misa N.
The thing though is that Neep no longer has 100% kill participation. Still over 90% though. So, but still all of that was set up because he baited TOP into focusing on him. He silenced all of them with his ultimate, which allowed the rest of UPD to follow up. He survived for so long with a mana shield, as well as everything that he's got.
And also the newly reworked Zeeks. I gotta say,
Yeah.
that really complements the Blizzard. Blitzcrank just hits so well in a way that Blizzard can easily stack up more and have more damage.
Yeah, and being able to have that synergizing storm there actually really helps out in the DPS, as you said.
Storm
And- yeah,
Surger.
Storm Surger. And it's really helping out. No, Neep still going for more.
And still not catching a break. Ooh, that hook was a bit too close. And I think right now, Misa N is an endangered species looking at his KDA 063. And Chan is, in a way, close to being endangered.
He is
Being-
1-4 and
he's
1.
being
But
poached.
the fact is, his explosive casts are actually been on point. It's been like 2 or 3 times that Blizzard has been put out of position because of the explosive
Here
cast.
it comes. By the way, if Baron is still up for a steal, let's see. Chando gets hooked and silence. He cannot steal that Baron. UPD just baited out TUP in the Baron pit, and Misa N will be feeding UPD for dinner, maybe for their victory party. Oh, bad though. That's a pretty close call. Need does not get taken down.
The shields from the safeguard and his own passive still activate. Look at Iconic still going for it.
Oh, there is the slicing nails from Asidia. Does not have any more. The playful trickster gets slowed by the mallet.
For slicing Maelstrom just to scare them off. But they were already on the run there. So kind of wasted a tap. But UBD still going for the
Wow.
siege. They do have the Baron buff. They
Baron.
can't fight for this. Chum the waters.
Oh, Blizzard with the decisiveness to deny that.
So hard for Acedia to get these pickoffs. Of course, he has to chum the waters, but Berserk has a really good survivability with his own shield, plus Veer can also shield him. And Blizzard can just block out the damage completely with Featherstorm. It's quite difficult for him to get a good assassination with Chum the Waters. Now Bomb's gonna be in danger.
Oh, he just got singled out. Berserk is godlike with the 704 KDA. The timers are huge for BAM, and now UPD is gonna be trying to close this game as fast as they can.
Almost.
Almost.
Very scary.
Chance
Team still
there.
going for looking for something. But look at the gold lead. 13,400 gold in UPD's favor, and they're going to transition into that more leads with the Baron buff that they have here in the top lane. Wow. The thing is, look at the lead on every single member of the team on UPD, and especially on Blizzard and Berserk. That's huge.
Now the turret is being taken down. TUP. No room to grow, no room to roam, not even an objective to contest. TUP is just being controlled right now by UPD because of their reactive playstyle. UPD also reacts, but they also initiate stronger.
Yeah, they have the initiative coming from Neat as well as Veer to really set up these kills for Berserk and Blizzard. And the thing is, though, the biggest problem TUP has at this point of the game, at 27 minutes and 14,000 gold behind, is that this composition does not play from behind. The Gragas can try and set up for a comeback, but Baam being not snowballing, Navi not having a good lead, Acedia being quite behind means that this pickoff composition will not be dealing enough damage to break UPD. We saw they tried to pick off Neep, who is right now I think the tankiest member of this team, and they couldn't finish him off. They can't even finish off Blizzard because of the Featherstorm making it so hard to confirm kills, and the threat of the hook is so big.
Here comes
Go
probably
for
the
it.
last flash, a collapse onto the base of TUP. Berserk, the storm is just toning out Misa, and look at the damage and the burst from Berserk. Now Bam's up below trying to pick up Iconic. The stun will lock him down. And guys,
I think that's game.
that is game set with UPD ending the grand finals of the LCL 2017 spring term. The representative for Philippines entering the LICC.
Whoa. Oh boy, that was such a dominating game. 18,000 gold ahead. Finishing the game 18,000 gold ahead. At first, they were having a little bit of trouble in the lane, but then once Neep started roaming and getting them those kills, Berserk popped off. So did Iconic survived further in lane against Acedia. And bot lane, once he got more hooks against Misa N, that just set up Blizzard to snowball as well. And the biggest thing there is that because of the composition of TUP, they played so far behind that their composition had 0% chance of winning. I think so. They had a good setup with explosive cast. In the end as well, they had very good setups with the tidal waves. But because their composition was behind, a very assassin-oriented composition with a Lucian as well, meaning that even if they get a good setup, they won't deal enough damage in that short window of time that they have before UPD retaliates with their own sustained damage from the Victor and the Zaya.
Hands down to UP for putting up a good game, and also thank you for TUP for making it this far in the grand finals.
These teams did both deserve to get to the finals.
Yes.
TOP showed that.
But now
But
there's
UPD
only
in the
one,
end, yeah.
but there will be only one spot for that glorious and
For the surge
prestigious-
damage.
Yeah, look at that damage. In the prestigious spot, the champions of the LCL Spring Term 2017, UPD Diliman
I
Oblation
wore my maroon
Esports.
coat for this, but in the camera it's brown. But still,
So, I
very
think
convincing.
very convincing victory. They will now be moving on. And to our viewers out there, and to all of the 48 campuses that have participated in the LCL, we thank you. And to the finalists, TUP, good game, well played, and that wraps it off with UPD, the champions of the LCL 2017 Spring Term Challenge. What you know, we have been your shotcasters for this long journey. I am Vulcan. Joining with me is Atlas, and I think we'll be seeing UPD in the international scene. Out. Blizzard's very low though. Navi gets exhausted. The big caller will be enough for Blizzard to get the upper hand, and that is a double for Blizzard.
Oh, but
there is a
Blizzard-
lockup. Blizzard though has the better storm, but the collapse will just be enough for Insidia to pick up that shutdown.
Blizzard
Oh,
once
there
again.
it is. The combo hooking explosive cast. Veer is in game. There's the third hit. Teleport's coming in. It will be cancelled, however, by
Blizzard.
Insidia.
Wait, why did he flash the jump the water?
Yeah, I did not see that coming, and now a burst of damage coming from Berserk here at Blizzard. The Faker could need. He
survives.
survive thanks to the mana shield, and now no more resources left. Nisa and is forced to use the tidal wave. Now Nisa's very low. Chad picks up the kill, but a what try? Tidal wave. Baron is still up for a steal. Let's see. Chanzo gets hooked and silent. He cannot steal that Baron. UPD just baited out TUP in the Baron pit, and Nisa and will be feeding UPD for dinner, maybe for their victory party. Oh, bad though. That's pretty close call. He does not get taken down.
The shield from the Silver Guard. And
Here comes
Go
probably
for
the
it.
last flash. A collapse onto the base of PUP. Berserk, the storm is just toning out Nisa, and look at the damage and the burst from Berserk. Now Bam's left alone, trying to pick up Iconic. The stun will lock him down. And guys,
I think that's game.
that is game set with UPD ending the grand finals of the LCL 2017 Spring Term. The representative for Philippines entering the LICC.
Whoa. Oh boy, that was such a dominating game.
Not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.